We are here and we are in HD. Well, I am. I don't know if he put himself in HD. That's that standard def looking motherfucker. I am Bushy. This is Metal Mike.
And how do I put myself in HD, motherfucker? I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking camera.
Learn the program.
Right.
We're trying this for the first time. But yeah, this is the Plug Podcast. We're actually doing a video cast for this one because it is our annual Halloween episode. And when we get to it, we're going to be talking about the mighty Abigail. More about that later. Metal Mike. It's been a few weeks since we've actually sat down and talked. We released a little bit of content for Eddie Van Halen's 2-year anniversary of his passing.
I thought it was 3 years.
Maybe it's 3. I don't know. My dad passed 2 years ago. Maybe that's what's on my mind.
Yeah.
But
I think he died. Wasn't it 2020?
During the pandemic? I don't know. I thought it was after, but either way, we released a 2-part series that Metal Mike put together with his brother Scapegoat. And man, it's fucking outstanding. So for all of you that didn't go in there and listen to it, screw you guys, man. You missed out on a lot of great content there. There's a lot of cool interviews, some good music in there.
Yeah, dude. October 6th, 2020, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a minute. My dad was October 11th, 21. So that's what's been.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I could see where that would, kind
of occupy the space a little bit.
Obviously. My brother, really, Dave Scapegoat, to all you listeners on the Metal Mike show, he's the guy that put it together. I mean, the dude's like a genius with editing and stuff, and he had gotten all these old interviews, and he basically kind of, for lack of a better word, created an audio documentary. He'd been kind of experimenting because there's times where I'll end a show with what we call closers. Like he made one about Black Sabbath and Ozzy, where it's all these interviews, and then it ends with the writ from Sabotage. He did one for Dio. He did one for Born Again. He did one for Bon Scott and AC/DC. He did one for, there's a few other ones he did. I think he did one for Randy Rhoads where it's a Rudy Sarzo interview. And I'll end the show sometimes with them, usually they're about 20 minutes long or whatever. But this was the biggest thing he had done, and he's wanting to do, and we are working on. I got to get back to it though, because I'm kind of writing it, and then he's going to edit it, and we're going to have you narrate it, sir.
Do I put on a sexy voice, or do I talk like this?
Come on, dude. Don't talk like that, or I'll just do it my goddamn self.
I'll talk like Marvin the Martian the whole time.
Oh, you mean Bunny? Give me the Space 99 modulator.
Yeah, the Space modulator.
I love Marvin the Martian. He's fucking great.
That's a fact. It's been a while since I've seen your lovely face. We've actually been trying to do this for a fucking week.
Man, dude, I swear to God, I'm all like, man, we got to get it on. We got to be more consistent. We got to do this. And then it's like the fates go, oh no, Metal Mike, that's not going to happen, buddy. Because we were supposed to fucking record this shit Saturday.
We were supposed to record it a week before that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just been one fucking crappy thing. What was the reason? Because there was what happened with me at work, but what was the,
well, the first one was you got moved to the floor and weren't getting out of there.
Right. Yeah. So it was both times my fucking job.
So the second one, your job called you in for an infection control issue without too much of that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, man. And then we were going to do it tomorrow night, which would have given me a little more rest. Maybe not Metal Mike, but me. And then I was like, dude, I got to take my girl to fucking physical therapy, or first physical therapy appointment. And I got to be there like 7:45 or 8:45 rather. And I'm like, that place is a fucking hour away, so I'm like, can we do it Tuesday? And I sat
so you got to do that Thursday morning, or?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So that's why we weren't doing it tomorrow night. The only thing is I get to get all tore up tonight and have my good fun. Because when I'm over at her place, she's so nervous with her ankle. She can't do much. It's hard for her to get around because she's got steps in her house, And
So you're over there right now?
No, I'm at Party
I was
Rock
going to say,
Studios. I'm at my
it looks like your place, but you
yeah.
know.
Well, I have broadcast a radio show from her place. Then Sam shit out on me, so I had to be back here to test my board and everything and my headphones. And I figured it out. I don't like it, but I figured it out. I've got to drop the whole volume that goes into my computer so that I can do my speaking portions, which drives me absolutely up the wall because I'm used to pounding everything through my stereo.
There might be a way because I had to figure it out with mine, and I got it to where I can have the music, and I have an external speaker plugged into my headphone, and it doesn't pick up at all. It did at first, but once I changed the settings, remind me, dude, and I'll try to do that sometime this week for you. Okay, we'll get on Team Viewer, and because I think I can help you with that.
Cool, because for years I've played it through this exact same stereo, these speakers.
Mhm.
I just run it out of my laptop into the stereo through an aux cord.
Right.
And it's always been fine. And then, I had something happen where the broadcaster would not pick up my board, my mic, nothing. My headphones.
It did the
songs.
it did the same thing to Samuel. It did the same thing to me just recently.
And that's the same Sam I've had for fucking years. Since I started here, September 11th of 2016. But, I figured it out. I was able to do the show. That made me happy. It doesn't make me happy listening through my headphones. I will say that.
Well, we will try to rectify that, my friend. I mean, it's bad enough we got to do this shit with earbuds and headphones, man. I don't want to have the show done that way. I like having the free where I can just crank my music and rock out with my buddies and my brother. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I do it mostly by myself. My daughter hides in her bedroom. She's like, "Oh, Dad's doing his thing again." Yeah. But I just want to be able to blast my music at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, piss off the
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
But
of course.
I did the festival. We had a little bit of fun. It was really just a shit show. There was so much drama. Most of it I really think I need to talk about off mic.
Yeah, I think you should, dude. I don't think we should be putting all that out there, man.
But we didn't get to drink the way we wanted to. And poor Mindy with her ankle. I mean, she was a week out of surgery at that point. She couldn't have the fun she wanted to have. We were very limited in the movement and such. Even riding the golf cart, which is like her thing. She'll drive that golf cart all over that damn that property. And it is not a small property. And it will just circle it. You do the loop, you come around, and then you do this other loop and come around down by the stage. You go see the vendors and such. And then the drunker you get, the faster you go, the more fun it gets. Well, we couldn't do that this time. And then, like I said, all the bullshit drama going on. We ended up packing it in early. We came back home Saturday. We said
that really sucks to hear, man. I was very disappointed because I know you were really looking forward to it, man.
We both were, man. And her, well, that's her thing. It's not my thing, and I have a blast. There's a couple acts that I really, really like, and I try not to miss. And I didn't even see them close out, so I missed them doing War Pigs because they closed the set Saturday night, and they always close with War Pigs, man. And it's just such a cool fucking version of War Pigs. And they mix in some Alice in Chains and some Rage Against the Machine and some AC/DC and some fucking Zeppelin, all in this one big 15, 20-minute long.
That's awesome.
So I was just like, man, fuck. But at the same time, we were both done. We were getting to the point where we were miserable. So the point is, I haven't tied one on in weeks. But today, ladies and gentlemen, Bushy's going to be sloppy. I got a little bit of the red liqueur whiskey, I guess you'd call it, Fireball. I've got my typical beer, and I got a little bit of Uncle Sam's untaxed fucking liquor. And that stuff, boy, you got to sip this. You feel it right here.
Oh, I bet.
And it sits there for a minute. That's that there sipping whiskey.
Yep.
So other than bullshit work, because I could talk for hours about drama at work lately.
I don't want to, dude. I mean, honestly,
going on.
Honestly, one of the reasons why I do what I do here, with the radio and the station, and it's to get away from that shit. So the last thing I want to do is talk about work, man. And you and I are both in the same field. Again, you're in the same field I've been in the whole time. So fuck all that, dude. Let's just move on from that shit right now. Daddy's nipping that shit in the bud right now.
Beautiful. Because I would put way too many people on blast. And I've already been in trouble this week with management for putting shit out on social media. I will tell you, nothing I said was a fucking lie.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's the bitch about this guy. Is if I say something.
And that's probably why it pissed him off so bad, because everything you're saying is absolutely. And I'm sure the first thing, well, next time you get a problem, you need to come to us instead of putting it out there for everybody to see, right? That's what they said. I'm sure.
Even though no names or anything, I haven't mentioned a single name or anything.
Yeah, but they know
the people I was talking about. They're not even on my Facebook, so that means there's another little snitch bitch. And I know who the snitch bitch is. I mean, to have a beard that big and be that big a bitch. But I know who the snitch bitch is, which is cool. You know, I'll handle that eventually. But yeah, it's whatever. I laughed. We had a big meeting. She didn't single me out. It was said in the meeting.
But you knew.
Yeah. Well, I had to have a conversation with that person today, and some brand new administrator, and they found out, look, I'll do my job and I'll do it at a professional level, even if I can't stand the person I'm working for. But these are the things I will not tolerate. And my exact words were, I'm not ready to lose my job yet, but I am close. Not, I am not ready to leave my job. I said, I am not ready to lose my job. See, these emotionally reactive people don't understand that when I get angry, I get calculating. I calm and think things through. So when I go, I've already thought it out. I've thought it out now. I can do everything I want to do now, and not to destroy the facility, but fuck these few people. You know,
right?
Just be glad I'm a bigger person than that. I'll continue to do my job because, frankly, Bill's a cocksucker, and that motherfucker always has his hand out.
All right, man.
He wants his money when he wants his money. Dude, I gotta ask, the new Stones album, have you heard it?
No, I haven't. But Bush, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, man. I'm going to, though.
I gotta tell you, this is coming from a guy that says the Stones blow everything the Beatles ever did away. And yes, I know, unpopular metal opinion, whatever.
Well, it's not really a metal opinion. It's probably maybe a rock opinion or a music opinion, but go ahead.
Hey, get the fuck off my dick. The point is,
love it when you talk that sexy, dude.
Right. The point is, I have not had a chance to hear the album.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it's like I've heard, because I don't pay for Apple Music, but I bought it on iTunes, so I can't figure out why. I could play the first single that came out, Angry. It'll play the whole song on my iTunes on my phone, but it'll play me samples, like the first minute of the songs. Having heard the first minute of every song on this album, I think it's the greatest thing since Steel Wheels. But that's hearing a minute of each song minus hearing the entire Angry and the entire Lady Gaga Stevie Wonder song. And I liked both of them.
All right, I'm sorry, dude. Hold that thought. Be right back. You know what? Fucking cats, man. Get lost. Go on. Get out of here.
This is the thing about recording live on video, people.
My damn nerves. Ain't even my cat. Ain't even my damn cat.
We can't even just.
My fur baby died a few months ago, man. Now this one practically wants to live down here. It's like, you're Bill's cat. You ain't my fucking cat. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a cool cat, but did you see her try to do a Tommy just now? Meow. Yeah, she's trying to pull a Tommy the cat. There ain't only one Tommy the cat. Shiva.
Right?
That's what he named her.
Everybody thinks we ripped them off. You might as well rip that off. Fuck it.
I don't see it that way.
I don't either. I think we do kind of our own thing.
I mean, we don't have music playing in the background. We don't really review records very often.
No.
And now they're kind of doing this whole YouTube thing anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think we don't even talk about music all the time. They do.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, a lot. Yeah. But we'll talk about
I would say 98% of our content, if you were to scroll through this thing,
Most of it is
even
music
before you
related.
came here, man, most of it's music.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll have the nerdgasms and fucking other cool stuff, you know, football, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's not all just fucking music. And we're pathetically subjective. Where obviously Ralph and Ian are objective. Not
Very objective.
but
Ian is. Ian hates fans, not bands.
I love him though. He's great.
I do too. I don't know why he tolerates me. I really don't. Yes, I do. I don't spam the Sammy Hagar stuff, and I don't ever put it on the rock and metal page.
Well,
And that's why they tolerate me.
I mean, it's all
And I'm
depends.
a cool fucker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's my thing. I don't like everybody knows how I feel about Glenn Danzig, but I don't freak out at which I don't think there's a few people that have, but I don't freak out if somebody posts it. I don't have in my rules in the Metal Mike Facebook group page, no Glenn Danzig, you know.
All right.
But to me,
you're right. That whole no Sammy is pretty pretentious.
But they've been like that since day one. That's why I don't understand why anybody. I don't get it when people get butthurt or get fucking pissed or try to. Number one, okay, all you Sammy lovers out there, and by the way, I'm not a hater. Okay,
Not a lover, but not a hater.
I love his Montrose stuff.
Right.
Especially the first record. I do like a lot of solo Sammy, man. Like, fuck, man, heavy metal, 3 Lock Box, fucking.
He wrote some record too.
Yeah, he wrote some good. You know, I mean, that's why I was so upset when 5150 came out. I've said this many times, man. I'm well documented in that I am not a Hagar hater. At the same time, you know what, folks? Sammy don't really need you to defend him. Yeah. Sammy Hagar's doing just fucking fine. He doesn't. I mean, do I get tired of him talking about like? Here's the I can't believe they haven't done an Eddie Van Halen tribute thing. Well, Sammy, look, man. Even if they had of, I'm not so sure you'd have been a part of it, buddy. I mean, you did. I read his book. It was entertaining. I didn't believe everything he put in there.
I have to read that book. I got to get that book.
I did read it. It was an entertaining read, you know. I didn't believe everything he said, though. Not so much about the behind the scenes with the Van Halen brothers. I'm talking about like he literally says in the book that he was as big as Van Halen was when he was solo. Sammy, you were popular and you were doing pretty well, especially at the VOA. I was there, and you've always been a big deal here in the St. Louis Metro East area.
Yeah.
But bro, I remember when Van Halen came here every year and they would sell out 2 nights in a row. And that wasn't just in St. Louis. That was everywhere they fucking went. Nobody, no rock band at that point in time was bigger than Van Halen. I'm sorry, man. And that's just a fact. Now, I'm not saying that Sammy didn't, you know, I
agree, dude.
Right. That album was that album, I think eventually became I know it was a platinum selling album. Like Sammy wasn't hurting. You know, he was doing good. He was doing fine. But the shit of, I was his bro.
I think the thing is,
come on, bro.
With Sammy and with Eddie taking the band into that more keyboard oriented, radio friendly, glammy rock of that era. Man, Sammy lets the fact that they had all these #1 songs and #1 albums kind of go to his head, and I will always stipulate to that. Now, in my head, Sammy was huge, you know, but that's because I'm a Sammy fan. I've been on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast saying he's the greatest fucking voice of rock and roll, and I'll stand by it. I love that guy's voice, and unlike David Lee Roth, he still has it,
right?
Know? And it sucks. But my other hero, fucking Paul Stanley, he doesn't have it,
right?
That guy, I was showing Nevaeh. They just released. They did a halftime show or some shit.
Honestly, I think the only guy in Kiss that still has his voice is Gene.
Gene still sounds good.
Yeah.
But they were showing some halftime show or some shit at a football game. And I don't mean a football game. I mean a football game. Fucking soccer. Down in Australia. And I was like, Nevaeh, look, this is why I didn't want to go see Kiss on this last tour. And they're playing songs that she's grown up her whole life. She's heard from the womb. If she's like, oh God, I'm like, exactly.
Horrified. Yeah, it's horrible, man. It's like, I mean,
would it be fun? One last time, would it be fun? The Kiss-tard geek nerd in me is like, yes, it would be fun.
Not for me,
Yes.
man. You know what it's like
got-
watching Paul.
You've got fake Fraley. I get that. You got Cheetah
Leaving that
Chris.
aside, Bushy. Let's leave all that aside. Let's leave the whole.
What kills it?
Okay, go ahead.
It kills it for me. But to see the demon rise one more time and drool blood and do God of Thunder one more time live, that
Can
would.
I be honest with you? I just can't do geriatric Kiss anymore.
I'm okay. With
I can't. I just can't, dude. And I tuned out. I saw him. I saw him on the farewell tour. I'm good. Okay, and I'm talking the real farewell.
Yeah, I saw.
That's number
saw
one.
the reunion and the farewell, and then I saw him on 08 because it was Nevaeh's first concert.
And that's fine. And look, no one has to justify why
Paul
they're
was
going
still
to see
sounding
Kiss.
good in 08 compared to fucking 23.
Fair enough. And I've even told some people, they've asked me, well, Mike, what would you do? I'm like, have you ever seen them? No, then you should go. At least get an idea of what it was like. At least you're going to get some kind of an idea of it. I go, but I'm going to warn you, Paul's voice. And that's what bothers me about it. Let's leave the copycat, and the fucking fake Ace, fake Fraley, all that shit aside. Let's leave all that aside for now.
Yeah, because I'm really not even that big.
Because I would feel this way even if, let's say,
Ace and Peter,
Tommy and Eric had their own characters and their own identity.
Okay.
I would still, it would bother me because seeing Paul is kind of like seeing a lot of my heroes. It's like seeing a great athlete in their prime and they're still out there and they think they can still do it at the level they always have, and they can't. And to me, that's Paul.
Yes.
Paul is, it's like seeing, it's like the last few times I saw Evander Holyfield fight. I'm like, Evander, please stop. Just stop, man. I'm tired of seeing you get your ass beat. You have nothing more to prove. And that's kind of how I feel about with Paul. I don't get it. I mean, even Ozzy is like, man, I'd love to, but I just can't. I mean, there comes a point in time where
Ozzy, I would have to because I never have. I would have to.
Oh, fair enough. And I'm not, look, I've seen
being wheeled out on stage or held up by a fucking bar. That's where I have a problem. Because Ozzy, I can take the down tuning. So sing, I can handle the down.
I don't really bother. I don't, the down tuning never bothered me because number one, I'm a Black Sabbath fan and they down tuned anyway. So, and you're right. I saw Ozzy like right before he got really sick. It was before his fall, but it was before he had that really bad infection in his hand, and he was great. Zach was great. The show was really, really a great show, man. And I'm glad Bill got to go because he wanted to see Ozzy. It was really important to him and our friend Dirty Dave because they had never seen Ozzy. I had seen Ozzy several times. I mean, and that's not even counting all the times at Ozfest. That's just, I mean, we all know how I feel about Ozzy. Yeah. I mean, I feel about Ozzy kind of the way Ian feels about David Lee Roth. He's my Lord and Savior. I mean, that's how much he means to me. But I'm also like,
see you this way. Let me put it to you this way. My stepdad said something to me in the late 80s when I was getting introduced. Must have been 87. When he was introducing me to everything that I didn't know, he would say, if Elvis is the king of rock and roll, Ozzy is the king of metal, but Halford is the metal god. And he introduced me to both Ozzy and fucking Priest. My dad introduced Sabbath. My dad had Paranoid and fucking
my title for Ozzy was always the maestro of metal.
Nice.
My title for Iommi, of course, is the riff lord.
Oh, he's
or riff god.
Yeah.
But then Kirk Winstein's also is called the riff lord too. But he even, because they said, well, what about Iommi? And he's like, well, Iommi's the riff god.
Yeah.
I'm just a lord. He's the god, he is. And he is. I mean, Ozzy said that himself many a time. He is the master of metal riffs. He's like,
I forget who said it. I read it in an interview. 90s, mid 90s. And I forget who they were talking to, God, because Bushy drinks a lot. But they were they were asking about Tony Iommi, and this guy said, look, Tony Iommi wrote every metal riff there is. Everything else is just a derivative of what he's already done. They just take what he's done and they mix it up.
Or they speed it up or they slow it down. And
It's
that was
all-
Rob Zombie.
Was a zombie? Okay.
It's Rob Zombie that said that.
But see, I mean, I remember reading that. So
And here's the other thing he says. He says that about Sabbath, but he says as far as like theatricality, he's like, Alice did it first. If you look, whether it's me, Manson, or whoever the fuck will do something, people are like, whoa. But if you go back far enough and you fucking do enough research, Alice did it before you.
yes.
He goes, Cooper and Sabbath did everything first,
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of true.
Well, that's why it
No.
was so funny to me, when Gene Simmons was selling the guy we're going to, or suing rather, the guy we're going to be talking about tonight,
Oh, yeah.
Halloween. Because it's like, wait, didn't you rip off fucking Alice Cooper and Screaming Jay Hawkins, for Christ's sakes? I put a spell on you with the voodoo and all the paint on.
Well, and that's not even mentioned in their music because let's be honest, if you can't hear the Zeppelin or even the Sabbath for that matter, and some of Kiss's early stuff, come on, man.
Not
And
paying attention. Those first 3 albums, especially.
yeah. I mean,
Especially.
come on, Firehouse, that's a derivative of Misty Mountain Hop.
For real.
They took it and they made it theirs, and that's okay because that's what people do,
Well, here's what I want to know, because this is a brilliant riff. Who the fuck did they rip off to get fucking Parasite?
You'd have to ask Mr. Ace Frehley. I don't know, but that is a fucking great riff, man. God damn. And that's why Ace Frehley rules, motherfuckers. Right there. Yeah. I mean, and it's no wonder a thrash metal band like Anthrax did that song because it lends itself. And I love how he keeps playing it, and all of a sudden you hear Gene go boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's fucking awesome. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They can say what Kiss this and that. Hey, nothing will ever taint what they did from 1974 to 1979, motherfuckers. Bam. Mic drop. I don't give a fuck.
I will not argue with it.
Yeah.
I will not argue with it. Even though you guys know what my number 2 favorite Kiss album is.
Ugh.
Still, I love it. But those first 3 albums, objective,
Yeah,
are masterpieces.
well, it's the blueprint for everything that followed. It's the Kiss sound.
Yes.
Okay.
It
And
was just perfected in the production on Alive.
exactly. And then they even went further with Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun and Alive 2. Like, I think the studio side of Alive 2 is amazing too. Eddie fucking Kramer, I don't give a fuck. Bob Ezrin, I love you. You rule. The shit you did with Alice Cooper alone, you're a fucking god as a producer, okay? But Eddie Kramer's the best Kiss producer.
You like Alive 2 better than Alive?
No, but Eddie Kramer produced Alive. Eddie Kramer is the greatest Kiss producer.
I was like, wait a second. We were talking about Alive 2, and I'm sorry, I got that untaxed liquor.
You need to man, if you're already fucking up, the show just started, dude.
Sir,
God.
I have not been able to get filed in weeks.
Oh boy.
I have been sipping beers because unless she and I are drinking together, she doesn't like me to get drunk, which is fair. Okay, whatever, because sometimes Bushy gets sloppy.
No.
But having said that, you kind of knew I was a drinker ahead of time. Yeah, Alive. If you don't like those 3 studio albums,
Then you're not a Kiss fan.
Kiss, Dress to Kill, or Kiss How the Hell Dress to Kill. And by the way, Dress to Kill, fucking Peter Criss show. Oh my God. If you don't
agree.
3 albums, because well, the sound sucks. Fair enough. I'll grant you that.
But the songs still rule. See, production's production. Okay, there comes a certain point. If the songs are fucking good enough, production don't matter. It's important, but it's not all important. Okay, because I'm telling you, those first 3 records, man, fuck. Dude.
All these Beatles fans that don't like their production on the 1974 Kiss debut album, I'm like, what the fuck are you listening to? Listen to the first couple of Beatles albums in the 60s when they were
sure.
And I mean, Kiss even stole the fucking cover.
Yeah.
Trying to present themselves that
As
way.
a heavy metal Beatles.
Right. And
And they were influenced by the Stones too. You can definitely hear the Stones in their music as well.
and thanks, Ace, because you had some sense. Because his guitar playing, I could hear some fucking.
Oh, big time. He says the Stones was a huge, you can hear it. You can hear it, you know. But I think Gene and Paul, I mean, come on, dude. It's the fucking Stones. I mean, I don't know. I get weary of the whole Beatles versus Stone thing because I love them both, man. I'm just like, they're both fucking awesome. Can't we all just agree on that and move the fuck on? That's just me, though.
I wish people that hated the Beatles could at least say what I say. Arguably the most important band in history. And then people want to say rock band, and that's where I go to, Mr. Wadzilla himself, Ian Wadley, where Wadley will say that the Beatles are the greatest band in history, but the Stones are the greatest rock and roll band.
And I don't have a problem with that statement.
I don't either. If you want to make that differentiation, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. To me, all day long and twice on Sunday, I'm going to take the Stones over.
But you're not a Beatles hater, Bushy.
No, I'm not.
I mean, there are some songs of theirs you do like. I know you do.
I hate people to think that like everybody kisses the ass of the Beatles, and it's like, dude, bands coming out today, like today, bands coming out. They're like, who the fuck are the Beatles?
Well, look, man.
But look,
I will say this:
the Beatles are Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, the only two surviving members of the Beatles, are on a new fucking Stones record.
Well, because I mean, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, those guys have been friends for fucking ever. And you know what? One thing you need to acknowledge, though, that you should be grateful to the Beatles. It was John Lennon and Paul McCartney that both told Keith and Mick, you both should write your own songs.
Yes.
Because before that, they were covering Muddy Waters. They were covering Howlin' Wolf, doing a great job of it. I love those songs. I love Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. Love that stuff. But it was Little Walter, all that. But it was John Paul's like, you guys can write songs. And it also kind of changed the dynamic of the band because before that, Brian Jones was the unquestioned leader of the Stones.
Right.
Until Mick Keith started
Oh.
writing songs, man. And that's when the power shift changed.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Brian Jones era, I'm a Mick Taylor guy.
Dude, me too.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I love the Stones though. I mean, I could talk about the Beatles and the Stones all night, man,
Oh yeah.
So I know, and it's one thing to prefer one over the other, but I do hate it when people try to disparage one to elevate the other. There's no reason for that. It's fucking stupid. You don't have to do that. It makes you kind of look like an insecure little bitch either way, I think. And that's what I'm saying. So, hey, without the Beatles, the Stones might have just kept doing covers, which was cool, but they might not have become what they became, so.
Okay with that because I mean I've heard their blues covers and it's like these white boys from fucking Britain know what it's like down on the pea farm, obviously.
Well, sure they did. I mean, dude, the English, lower and middle class English people, goddamn right they knew about the blues. I mean, hell yeah.
All right, I got my cat banging on my door to come in because she's outside. Give me just a hot second.
All right, man.
The thing about fucking recording a video is I can edit the audio. You'll hear none of that in the audio version. This is what you deal with on the video.
Now, is this going to go on YouTube and all that? I guess?
Yeah. Put it on
YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. So give me just a hot second.
Hey, take your time, brother.
And that rattling and thumping you hear is my daughter's dog jumping down because she has to come and say hi to the kitty.
Aw.
But yeah, man. Beatles.
No, dude. Hey, like I said, and I do know there are some Beatles songs you like because we've talked about it. My
favorite Beatles song has got to be the second stupidest Beatles song there is.
What's that?
Because the stupidest Beatles song is Yellow Submarine, and I hate that fucking song.
A lot of people I know hate that song.
My favorite Beatles song, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't understand it.
He probably didn't either, but go ahead.
But I love it. It's a Ringo Starr led song. It's fucking Octopus's Garden.
Oh, that's a good tune. I like that song.
It's fucking stupid. What's he
Yeah,
talking
but
about? But I
come on,
love it.
dude. Hey, those guys were doing a lot of drugs. Okay. I mean, like you're going to sit there and tell me that Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds makes sense. Or what about fucking I Am the Walrus? Really? Come on, dude. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
in fact, I don't know if you know this. You might appreciate this. It was, I think, in a John Lennon documentary. This dude was like camping out in his fucking garden or some shit, you know, because he wanted to meet John. And John didn't even know he was out there at first. And then finally, John was like, really? He's been out there in the garden the whole time? And they're like, yeah, well, let him come on in, man. I'll talk to him. And the dude's like asking all these questions about, are there these secret meanings to these songs? And John's just like, not to be a dick, but no. It's a fucking rock and roll song, mate. You know, it's all it is. It's just music. It doesn't fucking mean anything. It
Right.
means whatever you want it to mean. And
Yes.
I can't fucking tell you what I was thinking when I wrote it. It's a fucking song I wrote fucking 5-10 years ago. You know, like he just was like blunt. He wasn't, and you could tell the dude was just dying on the inside. And then John looked at him and said, "You want me to make you a sandwich, mate?" And he made him a fucking sandwich. So it was, but John was just like, dude, it's just rock and roll, bro. I mean, I'm glad you like our music, but to fucking John never understood why everybody put so much fucking importance on not just the Beatles, but any kind of music. Not that he thought that music was disposable. He didn't, but he was like, yeah, take it for what it is. It's entertainment. Have fun with it. Listen to it. Love it. That's great. But there's other things in life, man. And I kind of understand what John was saying with that, man. It's like when people made such a big deal about them breaking up, he was like, it's the fucking end of a rock and roll band, man. Like life will go on, you know?
There's something intrinsically special. I'm sorry for our retarded viewers to use words that big. But there's something intrinsically special about the written word vocalized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go watch a movie. I don't know anybody that ever says, "Man, I was in this deep dark place and I was about to kill myself, and then I watched Pulp Fiction and decided to live." I've never heard that story,
Right.
but you hear these stories time and time and time again
Oh,
of
sure.
I was in a dark
Sure.
place and this music lifted me out of it. This music gave me hope. And I don't care, insert whatever band from whatever.
Hey, I got a story for you. Straight up, man. John Denver's song, Annie's song. He wrote it for his wife.
Yeah, yeah.
He kind of fucked it. John was one of those guys every once in a while. Believe it or not, John Denver was kind of a crazy motherfucker. You know, everybody always thinks these country and folk artists aren't as crazy as their rock and roll and metal counterparts. They are. Some of the country guys are crazier. I mean, and John fucking flipped out on his wife, and like they had this gazebo or something, and he fucking chainsawed the fuck out of it. Well, he tried to go, Annie, I wrote you a song. She was like, I'm done, John. Like that was it for her. She divorced his ass, but they were still good friends. Like she still cared about the guy. But Annie's song he wrote for her, I think, because like any other musician, you know, when you're in the limelight like that, you're having, I mean, it's kind of like what Chris Rock said about how it is for women all day. You want some dick, which is true.
Right.
But when you're a famous dude, you want my snatch constantly.
Yeah.
John's just human like anybody else. And, you know, he did stray on her. And when she found out, she was obviously really hurt. He wrote Annie's song for her, basically like, hey, I'm really sorry. I do love you. You mean everything to me. I'm a fuck up and I'm sorry kind of thing. But what was really wild about it is this is after she divorced him. She was a psychiatrist and she was talking to this gal who had been suicidal. And she didn't even know that she was John's ex-wife. She didn't know.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't going by the word, you know. And she said, I heard this song on the radio, Annie's song, and it stopped her from killing herself because she could hear the lyrics. You know, I mean, you fill up my senses like a night in the forest. I mean, what the fuck, man? You know, and that's one thing where I appreciate me, Metal Mike, like John Denver, because of my mom. She used to listen to his records, and I think his music is beautiful. You know, I always have.
Hey,
you know,
voice.
Yeah.
He lost. And I'm sorry, greatest Christmas album of all time, John.
Yes.
The Muppets of Christmas.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
Help it. It's
I
got
love it.
the best recorded version of Silent Night ever.
Oh, and I love his and Ralph the Dog's version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which is a great fucking song anyway. From the movie Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah.
See, doing a little bit of, St. Louis love there, man. Vincent Minnelli and Judy Garland. But no, and you want to talk about somebody who had an amazing voice, the late great Judy Garland. But no, so yeah, I do think I get, but I also understand where John's coming from. Like, dude, it was just a song. It was just like a lot of the, not all the Beatles lyrics, but some of them were very nonsensical. They didn't make, in fact, he would make fun of that later. There's a song called Glass Onion on the White Album where he says, I told you about, he's like talking about former Beatles songs and then, and like fucking with you going like one of them's like, I told you about the walrus and me, man. We're as close as can be, man. But here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul. It's just him fucking kind of trolling the fans a little bit, but I don't mind. I thought it was cool, but Ozzy's had that. Like, what were you thinking when you wrote Symptom of the Universe? Ozzy's like, dude, I was fucking high.
Right.
I don't fucking know. Cause Ozzy's lyrics, when they would keep his lyrics, because Ozzy just writes lyrics off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Sometimes Sabbath would keep him. Sometimes they wouldn't. From what I understand, Symptom of the Universe is one of those songs they did. And if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, and there's a few other, there's that song Denial on Osmosis, where Ozzy says, I like to live inside my pocket with all my plastic change. He said that was me channeling my inner Lennon, because that lyric makes absolutely no sense. And it doesn't.
Right.
But, Ozzy goes, my lyrics were always more metaphorical, where Geezer's lyrics usually told a story.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to the first version or the original version of Wheels of Confusion, Ozzy's lyrics are a lot more depressing because he's talking about how the world was green and beautiful and now it's just been destroyed by pollution and mankind. And, where in the other one, Geezer's lyrics, the one that came out, it's, once upon a time in my mind, in the land of fairy tales and stories, he's talking about how when you're a child, you live in a dream world. And then when you grow up, it's all an illusion, and that line, it was an illusion, Ozzy used in both versions, but the other one's a lot darker. It's basically like once upon a time in the world was green and beautiful. And now it's all been, destroyed by mankind, and, I did notice sometimes, like even the original lyrics to War Pigs. I mean, Ozzy says, cast the priest into the fire. Geezer's like, what the fuck, man? So
Calm down, mate. We'll never get a gig.
I could just say, we need you to take it down about 20%, Ozzy. Take it down about 20%, Ozzy. But yeah, and lyrics are very important to me. But to some people like Bildo, he could give a fuck about lyrics. He just likes the music and but yeah, John was just like, dude, that's cool that you like our music, but fuck, don't let it just like, there's no secret meaning, bro. I don't mean to disappoint you, and you could just tell the dude, and Oz goes, John's like, you want me to make you a sandwich, mate? And I'm like, how fucking cool is that? Dude can say, hey, John Lennon made me a fucking sandwich, man.
Right. Like shattered my dreams, but sandwich was fucking good.
Right.
But that's like, there's lyrics that I find that are very deep to me. You don't know what the fuck the songwriter's thinking. It could be that simple. They're just writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
But them straight to the point fucking cheesy fucking lyrics mean a lot to me too. My theme song to this day is Nothing But a Good Time by Poison.
I'm sorry.
I don't care. Those lyrics speak to me even to this day. I have fucked up in my life where I'm not making the money I should be at my age. So when I hear things, even at 49 years old, not a dime can't, pay my rent. I can barely make it through the week. Saturday night, I like to make my girl, but what's to say? Can't make ends meet. Working, slaving every day, got to get a break, from the same old. Dude, it makes perfect sense. It made sense to me in 1988 when that album came out. It makes sense to me in 2023. And they're not deep spiritual lyrics.
No. And I get that.
I get it. It's my fucking theme song to this day. It's my theme song. Like when I'm buried in the fucking casket, they need to find a
I
song.
don't know. Maybe if the song had just been
Uh,
heavier. I mean, because on dude, like Kiss is one of my. I mean, they're my gateway band, and they weren't really known for their deep, fucking serious lyrics either.
oh, yeah.
Sometimes though, I don't think they do get enough credit for some of their lyrics. Like I think, um, um,
Going blind.
I think are great lyrics.
Great lyrics that are almost nonsensical.
I think the lyrics for well, Strutter, I like the lyrics for that. She'll let you walk the street beside you. We've all known that chick.
That chick, yeah.
And
She'll pass
oh,
you.
what's the one? God, I'm drawing a blank. Come on and love me. You were distant. Now you're near. I can see your face inside the mirror. I mean, yeah, there were some great Kiss lyrics over the years. I mean, not some of them were cheese dick, sure, but some of them weren't, like watching you and and like you said, going blind. Even X-ray eyes might seem kind of nonsensical, but if you really listen to the lyrics, he's talking about, bitch, I know you're cheating on me, man. I got X-ray eyes and I can see. I can see through your lies, like, I mean, sure, it's not all, it doesn't have to be high art to me to be good.
Right.
And then you got people like the guy we're covering today, where he's literally telling a story with his stuff. So, I mean, I think but the one thing though that you might be interested to see, because we kind of went into this like Beatles vortex, was that and it was in relation to a band that you were not a fan of, mainly because of the vocalist, but it was the documentary on Rush and Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins on there. And he was just saying, look, whether you like them or not, you have to acknowledge they are there and they are still there and they are still selling records. And he goes, and you got some bands, he goes, and I'm not putting them down. He goes, but Zeppelin, the Beatles, they've been over-explained, and he's kind of right. I mean, he is right. The Beatles have been over-explained, like, and that's nothing against the Beatles. It's just, or even the Stones I mean, look how many fucking documentaries have been made about both fucking bands, man, because of who they are, and yeah, you got to give them their due, obviously.
I even give Rush their due.
I know you do. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it's a band you don't really care for, you at least will go. But I do the same thing. I've never said that some of these bands I don't like aren't talented. I never said that. Just said it's not my bag.
Yeah. It's like Rush. I mean, if they could have found a front man, maybe I would think of Rush differently. But then again, you get Xanadu, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't think of them any differently.
See, I love Xanadu, but that's me, man. I know Rush is one of those bands that's kind of, because there's some people, but a lot of it, when I hear people complain about them, it's, I can't stand that voice. But ironically, that comes to the guy we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. And I think he's way better. Fucking King Diamond is. But I got to tell you what.
I have a hot take with this album.
A hot take with this album? We may have.
Well, not this album, but I have a hot take opinion. It's going to be an unpopular metal opinion, but I don't care. I'm going to say it.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to get into it. I will never say something sucks, because any of these bands we listen to or choose not to listen to, that's what it is, choice. They've done it, they've made it, or they're making it. Who the fuck am I to say they suck?
That's why I said on the flip side, like, Sammy Hagar doesn't need any of you guys to defend his honor or defend him. Give me a fucking break. Like, he's doing okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
if I see something from Sammy that I like, I'll share it. But you definitely don't see my feet blasted with Sammy. There's other things you won't see at all, just because I think
I mean, the one thing that kind of bugs me about him is just the whole constantly having to put Roth down, elevate himself, and the whole, well, like I said in the book, I was bigger. I'm like, or I was as big. I'm like, bro, come on now,
And that's where Eddie may have a point. He said that both guys suffer from LSD, lead singer disease. That could be.
Oh, did Eddie say that? That's funny.
Yeah, he said they both suffered from LSD, lead singer's disease. And then he went and got the pussiest singer they could, Gary Sharon. So
yeah, I don't know what he was thinking with that one, man.
Fuck that guy. But hey, if you dig it, whatever.
Hey, yeah, like right. That's I see because
He
okay,
pranced
well, how do you
around.
can I ask
No,
you a
wait, can I say
question?
this? Fuck that. He pranced around on stage looking more feminine, fucking gay than Joe Lynn Turner with fucking Ingve Malmsteen's Rising Force. And I thought that guy looked sissy as fuck.
Can I ask you a question?
Joe Lynn Turner had a great voice.
What is your opinion on Extreme? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Are you just kind of like, eh?
I'm not a fan.
See, neither am I, dude. I never have been, man. And I've had buddies of mine,
I've
people
played
I respect.
on my show, you know, I like that Get the Funk Out. Yeah, it's a cool, funky little ditty, you know, whatever. The people that listen to my show are like, oh shit, you know, Bushy's playing Extreme. I'm just like, sorry. At that point, I'd almost rather play Debbie Gibson.
Ha. Well, that's one thing I wanted to clarify with some people is because a lot of times I hear that, oh, Bushy. Well, I'm like, Bushy hasn't played that shit and I don't know how long, guys, because I do listen to you from time to time, even if I'm not in the chat room. And it's like, it might not always be the rock and metal that's in my wheelhouse, but it's rock and metal. You're not playing fucking Paula Abdul or any of that stuff anymore. It's
Look,
just
I had a lot of fun doing my top 40 type show. I had a lot of fun, and I needed that so that I didn't walk away from the station.
right.
So I did that for, fuck, several months. Several months. I did.
You got it out of your system though. Now he's playing all kinds of heavy shit, and I'd like to think I'm part of the reason for that.
Oh, liquid metal is.
Liquid metal too.
But the funny thing is, and this is kind of a source of contention with my chat room was much bigger when I was mixing it up with all that goofy top 40 shit. I had death metal guys coming into my fucking chat room and like, holy fuck, he's playing Hanson. Oh my god. Not UB40. Who is it? Go West. Nobody knows fucking Go West. They're like, how the fuck do you know that? It's like, well, because bitch, I spent a good portion of my childhood in Europe. So I know a lot of pop that was popular over there in the early to mid 80s,
Right.
It was fun and I needed to do it. At the bottom line, when I'm home alone, I play that stuff very sparingly, very sparingly. Like if I'm playing 50 songs on YouTube in a night getting hammered, out of 50 songs, 2 of them might be a pop song. 2.
Right.
It doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just not my favorite. I needed to get that out of my system because riding the school bus every day to school, I heard Paula Abdul and then Poison and then Kiss and then Debbie Gibson and then Tiffany and then New Kids on the Block. I heard all that shit.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's top 40 radio, dude.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, you know what? Actually, some of that stuff, like I liked Paula Abdul. I think I liked her and watching her dance more than the music, but
Yeah.
she was such a cutie though, man. I had such a crush on her back in the day. She's still a pretty woman.
Oh yeah. Well, I got to tell you what it is. Halloween time, which
All
means
right.
it's time for our annual King Diamond review. Yes, I finally got to see Merciful Fate last year for the first time after Halloween.
Fucking badass, weren't they, dude?
Fuck yeah, dude. It was a bucket list show. I would have preferred to have seen King Diamond.
Yeah.
Because I'm way more familiar with those songs.
Yeah.
But there's nothing Fate played that I didn't know. So King Diamond knows how to put on a show no matter what. Of course, Becky Baldwin on bass filling in because what's his face had to go play with Armored Saint. Dude,
Well, yeah, because the original bass player, well, he was in King Diamond too. Timmy Hansen passed away.
Yeah.
And he's on this record, but we'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah. But we're like I teased earlier, if it was a tease, this is what we're talking about. The mighty King Diamond Abigail. And I have kind of a funny story about this, but Metal Mike, your introduction to Abigail.
Well, as you know, my big brother and his best friend Dave Grindstaff were always trying to find the newest evil stuff or badass stuff in metal. It was Dave who Grindstaff, who introduced my brother and me. Well, my brother introduced me to Merciful Fate. I'll never forget the cover to Melissa and just like going, what is this? And then Don't Break the Oath. And then hearing King Diamond's voice and going, what in the actual fuck, man? Like I'd never heard anybody like that before and or since, even though there is a band that's called Them that started out as a King Diamond Merciful Fate tribute band.
Oh, wow.
And now we're doing original material. And that guy he doesn't sound exactly like King, but he's pretty close, man.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool. But then at the same time, I'm like, man, because one of the things I always loved about Merciful Fate and King Diamond is nobody sounded like them and they didn't sound like anybody else. That's why I was such an Ozzy and Sabbath fan. Nobody sounded like the Ozman, and Ozman didn't sound like anybody else.
Yes.
Unique. And at first with King Diamond, much like a lot of new metal when I first heard, now some of it I loved instantly, or it was mind blowing. Like, when we were talking about the great Eddie Van Halen, my brother brought home the first record. Was like, dude, this guy's better guitar player than Ace Frehley. And I was a little guy. I was like, hey, and he threw on Eruption. I was like, I'd never heard anything like that. It was like, oh my God. And then, he's playing Atomic Punk, and it melted my brain, but in a kind of like Kiss Alive did first time I heard. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And this is amazing. And where certain bands, and Merciful Fate was one of them, kind of freaked me out when I first heard them, man. I'm like, what is this new sound that I'm taking in? And do I like it? Do I like that guy's voice? It's so weird. He sounded like he was from another fucking dimension, And so by the time, he breaks up with Merciful Fate, because you had Hank Sherman, he took the band and just called it Fate and went in a totally different direction. The remaining guys, Michael Denner and Timmy Hansen, formed that band with King Diamond, and even they were like, we should call the band King Diamond because your name is recognizable, right. And they did the smart thing and didn't bitch about it afterwards, unlike Bob Daisley. Well, you know what? Ozzy Osbourne's a brand name. He's a fucking marketing name. It's a name.
Yes.
People buy the record because it's fucking Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
Okay. Quit whining like a little bitch. You got paid for those records. You got paid for writing those records. You got paid. All right. Sorry.
He's not hurting.
No, the guy's a multimillionaire. Shut the fuck up, Bob Daisley. Anyway.
Thank you.
I just get so tired of it, man. And I'm not saying, and I'm not diminishing Bob's accomplishments either. You fucking Daisley sycophants, man. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, they decided, hey, let's do this. And of course, they came out with Fatal Portrait, and my brother bought that record, and I liked it. Now, when I was younger, I thought it was a concept album, but it really wasn't. It was more like kind of like Rush's 2112, where one side was a concept and the other album was just different songs, because he also has that awesome song called Halloween, which, I'm probably going to play on my Halloween special this Friday.
It's a staple. Much like, what the fuck is it? The Spider's Lullaby.
Yes.
You have a side of songs and you have a story on the other side.
Right. But most of King's are concept albums, and it all started here, folks, with Abigail, released June 15th, 1987 from Roadrunner Records, produced by the band themselves. And man, did they do a phenomenal job. And I think this lineup was maybe the greatest lineup King Diamond ever had. I mean, you got King, you got fucking Andy LaRocque on guitars, you got Michael Denner from Merciful Fate on guitars, and Timmy Hansen, both formerly Merciful Fate. Then you got the mighty Mickey D on drums. Are you fucking kidding me, man? I mean, dude, they are on fire on this record. Spoiler warning. Yeah, this fucking record rules.
Well, there's a reason that it's considered King Diamond's best album.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't even think you can argue with it, man. And after listening to it again for this, it was just like, I might have to reconsider them being my favorite album, even though it still kind of is. I love them. I do. But man, this record is so fucking good, man. And it opened the door for them and Conspiracy and all that, There is one thing I am going to complain about it, but this isn't just a King Diamond thing. This is a Mike and a lot of albums and records thing. And thank God he didn't do it with Conspiracy. So that's going to be my only clue to it until we get into it.
Now, for me, Abigail came, later. I
It
didn't.
was them was your introduction to King
Yep.
Diamond, right?
Conspiracy, The Eye. That was my introduction to King Diamond. And then, good old Columbia House. Thank God you fucking morons. What a shitty business plan that was.
Huh.
I ordered Abigail because I loved these 3 albums so much. And I got the cassette. And I remember putting in my cassette deck. And I had one of those, because I wasn't allowed a TV in my room, but man, I had a banging stereo. I was allowed to have a stereo in my room. Yeah, that's the family I grew up in. But I put this album in to go to bed, and it is the first and only record to give me fucking nightmares. This is the album of all the evil albums I've listened to in my life. This is the album that scared me. And it didn't scare me because of the story. It scared me because that first track is the most evil, fucking terrifying thing I have ever heard. My stereo, the cassette player, was the one that would run all the way through, then would click and play the B side, and then run all the way through and play the A side. I had it playing on repeat all night. And that's all I heard all night. We are gathered here tonight. Absolutely
Right.
scared the shit out of me. And if them, Conspiracy, and The Eye didn't hook me, God damn it, Abigail made it official. I am into this King Diamond thing for fucking life.
Now, did you know about Merciful Fate at that time?
I had no knowledge of Fate at all.
Oh, interesting. Because you're younger, so I was wondering if you. So that's really cool. So in some ways, I could see why you're more of a King Diamond guy, because that was your introduction to that world.
Sure. Now, as I've gotten older, I am, man, I like fucking Merciful Fate.
Well, of course, I know you do. Yes. Yes.
Like I said, I went and saw him last year with my buddy Jay Longo, my brother from another mother. I've known him since like 1997. That dude drove 3 hours from Charlotte to pick my ass up to drive 5 hours to fucking Atlanta, just to see fucking Merciful Fate so we could drive 5 hours back, drop my fucking punk ass off, and drive 3 hours home. And God love him for that. Thanks, Jay.
And it was worth it though, wasn't it?
And I was stone cold sober for that show, so I remember everything. I took it all in. And what a great theater that was. I wish I could remember the name of it now.
Now, did you see Creator and
Midnight?
Midnight 2? They were all cool, man.
Great show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I saw it in Indiana with my nephew, Kane.
Great.
And I am so glad. I mean, that was like, I'm making the road trip because I'd never seen Merciful Fate. And I'm like, damn it, I'm going to see him. I already saw King Diamond. I had to do a road trip for that too.
Nice.
I went with, that's when I was dating Sarah. We went to Louisville, Kentucky to see him.
Not too far. It's probably just as far from here to Nashville as it is from here to Louisville.
Yeah. And it was fucking phenomenal, man. I've, as I said, I've been a fan of both artists.
Diamond, no.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, both of them it was both amazing. I can't really tell you which one I liked better. Because I love Keen's solo stuff too, man. I mean, it's kind of funny. Our good friend, Dr. Fuck, he kind of makes the parallel that, and there is an argument to be made for that. They may not have sold as many records, but Merciful Fate are a very important band in the evolution of metal. And so is King Diamond, in my opinion.
I would not disagree, because everything King Diamond does, the band, is they took from Fate. All right. You're never going to see as many musical changes in a fucking song, a metal song, as you'll see in a King Diamond or Merciful Fate song.
Right.
It's one of the greatest things. I mean, the prog bands, they do it because that's what prog does. They make
right.
Rush is real good at that, I guess. Maybe Pink Floyd was when they were into their drugs and stuff.
Sabbath had their moments where they did it too.
Every once in a while, because I do like Sabbath. I am finding more and more that I am just a much bigger fan of Ozzy Sabbath. I do like Dio Sabbath, and I know
Sure.
Born Again is like one of my favorite Sabbath
I
albums.
love Born Again.
But as I go back and listen, I'm like,
Chris Czynszak, I love you, but you're wrong about Born Again.
no, it's fucking amazing. It's such a great album, and I can't wait till they do the fucking remaster of that.
Yeah, because apparently Iommi's found the master tape. So I'm like, yes.
Hope he thickens it up a little bit. If he could thicken
Yeah.
it up a little bit, oh, all you guys that have been hating on this record for years are going to finally come to your fucking senses.
Right.
What a masterpiece, fucking Born Again.
It is. It fucking rules, man.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, I do think there is an argument to be made for that, and I'm going to even make that argument during my review of this amazing album, because I'm like, yeah. Anyway, if you want to get started, brother.
Yeah. Now I only did the 9 songs.
Me too, because
Okay.
that is the album as it was released, the live shit and all that. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but that is not the album as it came out. And I wanted to talk about the Abigail, the album, you know.
All right. Well, let's talk Funeral, and Metal Mike, I'm gonna let you take Funeral.
All right, man. Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, we are gathered here tonight to lay to rest Abigail LaVey, who we have known was first born dead on the 7th day of July, 1777. You know, I mean, it just goes on with Abigail must be nailed to her coffin with 7 silver spikes, 1 through each arm, hand, and knee, and let the last of the 7 be drawn through her mouth, so that she may never arise and cause evil again. Who will be the first? I, O'Brien of the Black Horseman. Are you fucking kidding me? What an intro, man. But here's my problem with it.
Goosebumps.
It's great. It's great. I love it. I'm not knocking. But it's one of my pet peeves. You know what? Major psychotic hatred with a lot of classic metal albums. It shouldn't be a separate track. And thank God when he got around to doing Conspiracy, he does an 8.5 minute or almost an 8.5 minute song.
Oh, At the Grave.
Because At the Grave, yeah, it's all one fucking song. It might even say At the Grave, and then
yeah.
And I love it. It's such an epic At the Graves, man. You know, but it's you know, he does the whole intro talking about his sister, how he misses her and stuff, but you don't have I don't know, man. It's just like Electric Eye and fucking, you know.
I completely disagree with you.
To me, it's like Shout the Devil, man. I can't listen to Shout the Devil without hearing In the Beginning. I have to hear it all in one. I can't just hear Into the Beginning by itself without hearing Shout the fucking Devil, dude.
So what you're saying is you have to hear Funeral and then Arrival?
Yes.
I do not.
It's not a track. It's him talking. It's obviously got keyboards in it. It's moody. I even say very creepy. Sets the mood and the tone up perfectly. But it is what it is, and I don't understand why it's its own separate track when it is clearly an intro for not just the next track, but the whole fucking album. And I love it, and I think it's great. I'm not ripping on it itself, but to me, it's not just for the Arrival, dude. It's the whole album. To me, Abigail, yeah, you can play a song here or there for one of our shows, but this is an album that's meant to be listened to in its entirety, dude. And for me, it's just like the Hellion and Electric Eye. I just would wish it just said the Hellion / Electric Eye. It's just like, you know, Black Sabbath with Jack the Stripper, and then it goes into Fairies Wear Boots. It's Jack the Stripper / Fairies Wear Boots. They don't have it as separate fucking tracks, man.
I disagree more, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Here's,
Enlighten me.
I'm gonna read you verbatim. Fucking creepy. That demon voice got under my skin and into my soul as a young kid.
I hear you.
Being raised in the church, but I fucking love it. It does set the tone for their entire album, even though this is technically where the story ends.
That's true. That is true.
This is why I think this does not need to be played separately. It could have just as easily been moved to After the Black Horse. It could have been
enough. I like the whole flashback thing, though. I thought, you know, it was
they only do it.
And really, this is a story that has flashbacks within flashbacks.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical about it.
But yeah, this is, like I said, the scariest thing I'd ever heard. This was to me The Exorcist in an audio file. All
Fair
right.
enough.
That's-
Like I said, man,
that's
I'm
such
not
a-
ripping on it, and I love it. But to me, it's part of the album. It's like it's just so
But do you
like
understand why I say it's separate? It's absolutely separate because this is the end of the story.
kinda.
It's kind of weird to put the end of the story at the beginning. It's like
See, I think it's fucking brilliant though.
it's like
Great
you're
storytelling.
I'm not the guy that goes to the end of the book to
Because that's what I love about King Diamond. Not only is he an amazing musician, an incredible singer, an incredible songwriter, but the guy can write a great story. Like Hollywood, guys. Hello, this would make an amazing movie.
why are
would be
none
s-
of his albums a fucking movie? Now this
I know
graphic novel now.
they are, and that's awesome.
Yes.
I want to read it.
I'm gonna
We're
go
doing this story, right, Abigail?
Abigail. I'm gonna go ahead and take track 2. This is Arrival. For me, it's a cool tune. It's got this nice kind of galloping intro until until King sings, if you call it singing, that must be it. And here's our first musical change of several.
Oh,
And here we meet, Miriam, Natias, or Nadias, however you say it, and Jonathan LaFay and the 7 horsemen. The horsemen warn Jonathan and Miriam away, else 18 becomes 9. I still struggle with the 18 becomes 9, even though it's mentioned later. I don't know that that's ever explained well enough. But apparently the lead character, he pushes him aside, not believing the horsemen who say, hey, basically, you're going to fucking, hey, you're going to need us. Here's my card and check it out.
right.
Blistering fucking solos, pounding
Oh.
drums by Mickey fucking D. And dude, Timmy and that fucking, no, yeah, Timmy the bass, yeah. Dude.
Timmy Hansen, the late great Timmy Hansen,
Yes,
man.
and King.
What a great rhythm section.
Oh, King's fucking vocals. This is a great song. I still think Funeral should be at the back of the album. This just should have opened the whole fucking thing. Great tune.
Dude, I pretty much mirror what you say. Killer intro featuring the twin guitar attacks of Andy and Michael that goes into a killer chugging riff that would make Iron Maiden fucking jealous. That's right. Maiden might have brought the chugging riff to the metal masses, but in my opinion, Merciful Fate and King Diamond, they fucking perfected it. That's one of my hot takes right there.
I don't disagree.
The musicianship is fucking phenomenal throughout the track. I love all the different signature changes and amazing riffs throughout the song. I think the late, great Timmy Hansen on bass with the mighty Mickey D are truly an underrated rhythm section that doesn't get enough love. But, we could say that. Like, I know King Diamond has a lot of fans, and Merciful Fate has a lot of fans, but in my opinion, in the big overall scheme of things, they are somewhat underrated because I'm going to call it right now. This band, the King Diamond band, and even Merciful Fate is just as good as Iron Maiden. There, I said it. That's my hot take. Sorry, Maiden Tards. You guys are probably all going to fucking freak out and fucking want to burn me in effigy. Don't give a fuck. Don't care. These guys are just as good as Iron Maiden.
If not,
in fact, I'm just gonna call it. I do. I think I like them better than I do Maiden, man. I mean, Maiden's first 6, 7 albums, yeah, those are great, but King Diamond is still putting out killer shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
still waiting
Okay.
for the album, but yes. I do not disagree. Go ahead and take A Mansion in Darkness. I'm gonna grab a beer quick.
All right, brother. All right, we have A Mansion in Darkness. Just opens with a galloping riff on steroids that smacks you right in both ear holes. He actually did this song when I saw him live a few years ago, which is fucking amazing. It's just an amazing track. Also within the story, it's at the point where they have it depicts Jonathan and Miriam as they make their way to the mansion Jonathan has inherited, continuing to ignore the signs that they should turn back before it's too fucking late, man. I mean, some of the lyrics even here, man, riding up in the alley of the rain, no lights to show the way. How could this ever be their home? Through the darkness, you can only see a giant shadow that swells to be a house where evil rules at night. Are you fucking kidding me, man? This is Edgar Allan Poe just wordplay right here. This is fucking amazing. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. King Diamond rules.
Oh, well, I have kind of a different take, but you know, from the start, this track just fucking smokes.
Yeah.
Man, Denner and LaRock, they fucking deliver. For me, however, these lyrics are kind of boring. They're almost
What?
they're just
What?
about, oh, they're entering the house. There's dust and shadows. Ooh, you know.
But dude, the whole album has great lyrics. I didn't just mean this song. I mean, fuck.
About this song in particular. This is what I'm.
All right. Get the fuck out of here.
Here's the thing. King delivers them with conviction.
Yeah, he sells it, dude.
You believe it.
Like a fucking pimp.
Fuck
They
yeah.
ought to call him Pip Diamond. All right. That's how badass King Diamond is.
Yeah, for me, this song is great just on the music alone. Lyrically, I'm not a fan of this track, but I get it.
Well, it's setting shit up, dude.
Yeah, it's driving, it's hard, it's heavy, cool changes, brilliant solos.
Now, did I say it's the greatest lyrics on the album? No, I didn't. But it's still fucking Edgar Allan.
Look.
I'm
I'm just reading my notes. This is what I had as I was listening to it. And I have to say, I don't know about you, but this is not an album I actually go back to a lot. So I really rediscovered this record.
Well, I'm going to start because this fucking album is amazing.
It's great.
Because I hadn't listened to it in a while, and I'm going, holy fuck, man.
No fucking complaints.
Yeah, dude.
And we've had 2 songs with words, other than that creepy fucking scary thing that gave me nightmares. This is the only thing where I think it falls a little short. It's much like a Stephen King novel. Calm the fuck down. I don't need these 400 pages. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not knocking it. I think if I remember correctly, lyrically, this is the weakest for me.
I would go along with that.
Yeah. Lyrically.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it smokes.
But I was just, they were there, so I was reading them. But no, I think there's other songs that have even better lyrics. But one of the reasons why I love King Diamond is his fucking lyrics, dude. Like he's such a great storyteller, And like I said, I mean, I'm like, man, like I'm reading this and I'm thinking Edgar Allan Poe would be like, fuck,
I'm like,
I'm a big Poe guy. I don't know if you've caught that or not or figured that out, but I love Edgar.
I was hearing it. I'm like, was King just like, I need something to fill space here. So now we're walking into dimension. Ooh, it's dark. Ooh, there's cobwebs.
Well, it's like the Fall of the House of Usher, dude. It doesn't fucking start all fucking terrifying. He builds up to it. It's a fucking artist. That's what artists do. They don't just fucking come out and go right off the fucking bat, dude.
You
Scene one
from the beginning. Funeral grab me.
Hey, bro. And that's, you know what? I bet if King were here, he'd be like, then you're already grabbed. I already got you.
Yes, you got me. And
I got you.
And
so now I'm going back.
Entirety, A Mansion of Darkness, I'd probably grab a beer while listening to the guitar solos.
The guitar solos are amazing.
Yes.
All right, man.
The next song, I ended it with I Dig It.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
Oh, The Family Ghost. Is that me or you?
That would be you.
Oh, the Coast of Count de la Fay introduces himself. Takes Jonathan to the crypt of Abigail. Tells Jonathan that the spirit of Abigail is inside his wife. Now, these are fucking lyrics. And there's only one way to stop the rebirth of evil. It's self. Jonathan must kill Miriam. Vocally, I didn't like this one. But the advancement of story is so fucking well done that I will forgive King for not belting it out like he does in every other song.
Yeah, dude, I think this is another killer fucking guitar. This whole album is just one huge. It's 2 huge guitar gaps.
Let me fucking get.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I've got to give it the criticism sandwich. There's the bad. Vocally, kind of weak. Kind of weak. Advancement of story is amazing, and musically, brilliant. It's a great fucking tune. And that's all. I
Okay.
I wasn't shitting on it, sir.
I didn't say you were. I thought you were done, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Metal
Uh,
Mike is so eager to talk. We know you're the talent.
I am. Anyway, the Family Ghost. I don't have a long drawn out note though. Another killer guitar-gasm. Okay, I mean seriously, you know, I keep fucking repeating myself. He played this track when I saw him as well, and it was amazing.
Oh, I bet it was. I bet he
So-
delivered it better too.
He did.
All right, Metal Mike. The
Well, he
seven.
even said, he goes, Bushy's not here, so I'm going to do an even better job than I normally
I'm
would.
going to do it way better than I did it back in the day.
Yeah, all right. Oh, fuck.
7th day of July, 1776.
Yes, the 7th day of July, 1777. I love this song. It's just got this a beautiful acoustical atmospheric intro that allows you to actually kind of take a breath because they've been smacking you in the fucking ear hole the whole time, or both ear holes, I should say. Also, it's just, this is where you find out more. It's the 5th track. It tells the story of what happened to the Count and his wife on July 7th of 1777. The Count had discovered his wife had been unfaithful to him and was pregnant with an illegitimate child. Enraged, he threw the Countess down the stairs, breaking her neck and causing the child to be stillborn. The Count had the body of the Countess cremated and the stillborn fetus he named Abigail and had mummified and laid to rest in a sarcophagus. The Count having an inexplicable urge to preserve Abigail for the future. And they never really explain why. Like, who was Abigail's daddy is all I'm saying. Because, you know, they kind of hint. They don't he never comes right out and tells you. I have my theories. Just fucking an awesome track, dude. Again, we have a winner here, folks. What do you say, Bush?
Dude, I really love Andy's acoustic intro here. And those keys set, there's this eerie
Yes.
fucking tone. Cool, heavy riffing, kind of mid-tempo. It's not like blast you in the face rock.
No.
And we flash back to 1777 at this point. And like you said, you know, Count de la Fay, you know, has
Flashbacks within flashbacks.
found out his wife's been cheating. And he's, you know, just so incensed because the baby about to be born is a bastard child. And these are lyrics he's using. This is such a brilliantly written fucking song. It's a bastard child. And he says it will never inherit what is mine. So he pushes the Countess down the stairs, breaking her neck, like you said. He says the embryo, which I think is so much grosser and creepier, came out dead. Burns' wife, names the stillborn child Abigail and mummifies her. Dude, the solos in this are fucking sick. And this is one of my all-time favorite King Diamond vocals.
Yes, he's fucking phenomenal on this song.
What a
fucking phenomenal.
It's pure fucking evil.
Yes.
But my God, King fucking delivers. And this is why he is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. I'll take Omens. Great chugging opening riffs. It's very short lyrically. Basically, the whole story in this is there's a rotten smell, a table set for 3, an empty cradle swaying in the air. Solos are good, but not great. Vocally, it's good, but not great. For me, this is the down point of the album. You know, the other one you thought I was kind of down on. This one, like if I was going to eliminate a record or a track off the album, just to eliminate it, it would be Omens.
Okay.
Not horrible.
Well, I'm going to use a pun here. Something's rotten in Denmark. Get it? He's from Denmark. Yeah. It's still, I think, another really cool track, though. It as far as the whole album, and I'm talking not just the album, the band was just firing on all cylinders. You know, this is at a point where shit's just getting weird, man. It's in the summer of 1845. during which Jonathan and Miriam are beset by a range of omens. The church bell rings, despite nobody being inside to ring it. Flowers die. Unwholesome stenches fill the house, and in the dining room, the table is discovered set for 3. So that's what I meant by something's rotten in Denmark. I mean, he is Danish after all, so I'm assuming the story takes place there. In one incident, an empty cradle is discovered by Jonathan swaying in the air, with both him and Miriam insisting that they didn't bring it with them. So story-wise, line-wise, it helps keep the story together. You got to have that middle part that glues everything together. I like it. Probably my least favorite track on the album, though.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Right. I like it. I'm not dogging it. It's cool. I mean, this is like saying, all right, there's 3 amazing blowjobs, and this is my least favorite blowjob. You know what I mean? Like,
Really
that's
fair analogy, because when I say if I had to take a song off, this would be the song I'd take off. It doesn't mean I want to take the song off. When I listen to the album, and
I couldn't imagine it with that. It's the 9 tracks was perfect, just perfect.
Yes, 8 would 8. If this little stupid part that seems to not matter wasn't there, it would be empty.
I don't know if I'd say it doesn't matter, because with any possession story, dude, you have to have infestation first, and this is the
That's
infestation.
what I mean when I say it would be empty if I took this song out.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
definitely my least favorite on the album,
Right.
but it's not bad. I don't skip it.
Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't skip a track on this record, dude.
Take the possession.
All right, man. I like this song a lot because this is when shit just really kicks into gear, storyline wise too, and even musically. I mean, just a killer saberific riff. You know me, I love my Sabbath. Like the story kicks into gear, and man, King Diamond's just off the charts with his fucking vocals. This track is just so fucking creepy, especially when it says, when on the very next morning, when the mist was eaten away by the sun, Miriam grew hour by hour, and Jonathan, he cried. He knew the ghost had been telling the truth. So this was 9. Almost as in 9 months, even though it's not 9 months, but that's what I get out of it. Like
18 becomes 9 is what I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a little weird, and I'm kind of hoping they kind of explain that.
9 becomes 6 hours would make more sense.
Yeah, but even this part, the pregnancy would not last overnight. Oh, she started singing a lullaby, rocking the cradle again. And then she said, "I'm having your baby, my love." I mean, it's just so fucking creepy. I mean, and right here it even says, about the day after the events of the previous track, Miriam is clearly pregnant and the fetus develops quickly. Jonathan realizes the family ghost was speaking the truth. The fatal crisis begins when Jonathan accuses Abigail of possessing Miriam, and Abigail, through Miriam, admits it. So yeah, I mean, she's taken full control of his woman.
Yeah, this is, what are you doing here, priest?
It's fucking, this is where it's like, shit's about to get real.
You can see it, but I'm goose pimpling on this fucking track. It's very weird musically. It's got that strange guitar solo before that acoustic part, and with these dark, heavy organ type keyboards.
But it works, doesn't it?
It's very evil. It's very creepy, but to the mind that listens to music on the regular, it's weird.
But maybe that's why I like it, though, because not to say that you don't, but that's one thing we've said before about King Diamond and Merciful Fate. They kind of went, and that's why I could see why so many thrash metal bands and black metal bands and even extreme metal, death metal bands put Merciful Fate and King Diamond as an influence, because I hear it, because it's just so weird, but yet it works. It's like,
dude, I don't have a lot to say about this. I mean, it's
right. Same here. And as you notice, as I go on, my notes are less and less, because I almost feel like I'm repeating myself.
My notes,
if that makes any sense.
My notes tend to get more and more because I'm picking up more, on the latter half of this album.
Right on.
Creepy lyrics, and like you said, Miriam growing hour by hour, she'll give birth soon. Jonathan knows the ghost has been telling the truth. Miriam's possessed by the spirit of Abigail, just flat out. He's like, oh shit. And you start to wonder because a lot of King Diamond's lyrics and stories are such mind fucks. Is it actually happening, or is the protagonist just going fucking insane?
Well, they never really say. I think it is happening.
It-
And I'll tell you why I think that later. Huh?
I said I think it's open to individual interpretation because if you happen to see a ghost that tells you these things, but then you see this body growing and growing, I don't know. It's super creepy. It's way better than you see in any specifically modern horror.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really
Yeah.
brutal. We get
I
to
wish I had a lot of money because I'd be like, Keen, let's make a movie. Let's do a movie based on this story.
we get to the title track, Abigail. This is a cool fucking tune. The riffing is fucking awesome. The story, I mean, Jonathan talking to Abigail inside his wife. He's arguing with the fucking demon. He wants to call a priest, but Miriam breaks Abigail's control just long enough to basically say there's no time. Remember the stairs. It's
Is the only way. Yeah.
And the solo after that line.
By both Mike and Andy. The first solo is by Mike, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's right after I am alive inside your wife. Miriam's dead. I am her head.
Yes, but remember
You know,
the stairs. It's the only way. And then this fucker hits. Oh my God.
like a fucking sledgehammer, dude. It's like, yeah.
And Jonathan says there's nothing he could do but give in, and Miriam agrees. Abigail takes over, saying soon she'll be free, and that's the last you hear of it in this track. And you just have this musical barrage. This is such a great song. This is like you're getting to the crescendo.
Yes.
It's not Stephen King. King Diamond is, he's an artist, man. I mean, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Bringing things to a head, no matter which story he tells, whether it's short, like in The Spider's Lullaby, or long, like in this album or all of his other concept albums. He brings it here, but he's about to take you here. What do you think of Abigail?
My favorite fucking song on the album. I saw him play this live. It was amazing. I can't really add much more to it, bro. You pretty much said, and I threw in some things too, like pretty much just in agreement with everything you see. I mean, this is what everything you said. I mean, this is the part where, like I said, it's really the climax of the story and the album. It depicts Jonathan and his struggle to save his wife, who has now just been totally possessed by the spirit of Abigail. It's a phenomenal track. It's a phenomenal album. I know we got one more track. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say.
All right. Give me Black Horseman.
You're really going to laugh at my notes on this one, man. Black Horseman, like this entire album in one word, 2 words, wait, fucking epic. I mean, this is where you find out about the Horseman. And this is why I think that it did happen, dude, because the Horsemen warned him and then they come back. And the album goes full circle, much like Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime. It starts off with "I Remember Now." That's how the fucking record ends, and it's exactly the same way. The only thing is, man, and I kind of wish Keen would have done the whole fucking funeral thing at the end too, like do it at the beginning and the end. Because I don't know, maybe he was worried he might have gotten accused of ripping, because both albums came out around the same time or the same year, I think. This might have come out before Operation Mindcrime. I'm not sure about that.
87.
So this album came out in 87. Mindcrime came out May 3rd, 1988. So this has got almost a year on it, man. And but it would have been really cool for them to end the album with the funeral, like start it the way you began it, kind of like they did with Mindcrime, man. I Remember Now. And that's all they wouldn't have even had to do the whole prayer. They just could have ended it with "We are here to bury Abigail LaFay." Boom. That's the end of the album, But I think it's great. I think this record is great. I understand why so many people feel it is his greatest record. I'm going to say it right now, man. Doing this review, I've always loved Abigail. Don't get it twisted, guys. but I've always been like, well, that's my favorite. I think this might be fucking tied with it now, Bushy. I mean, what a fantastic record. I mean, I've always been a King Diamond Merciful Fate fan, but I have to say, I think as the older I've gotten, I've just gotten where I appreciate him and both bands so much more than I ever have, because they're so different and so unique and just so kind of ahead of their time in some ways, and yeah, I mean, just the musicianship, and I mean the whole in my opinion, and I know Dinner wasn't on them, and the guy he got on that record's great too. But holy fuck, man, I think this might be the greatest King Diamond lineup ever.
I don't necessarily disagree. Here's the funny thing is,
I mean, you had Pete Black on them and Hal Patino on bass, and they were great too. Like I said, man, don't get me wrong, I love me some them. Love them. But
listening to this album the way I did for this review, because it's not an album I go back to a lot, has definitely changed my mind. I will say, as your notes got shorter, mine got longer. I have an page and a half I'm about to read for you.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Black Horseman, the longest song of the album, clocking 7 minutes 39 seconds.
Well, like I said, fucking epic.
Fucking
Go ahead.
It never gets boring.
No.
Because of all the changes throughout this fucking song. The opening really reminds me of Fractured Mirror by Ace Frehley at first. It's got,
I never really thought about it, but you're kind of right, man.
Got that Fractured Mirror off the 78 solo album until that acoustic classical guitar starts anyway. Once you get the basically this part of the song tells of Miriam killing Jonathan, pushing him down the stairs. The second act picks up with a great bass riff. Oh, and just cool guitars going on. But man, that bass, Timmy Hansen just really stuck out to me when I was hearing it.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Tells of Abigail being born again, killing Miriam in the process. So the evil is back. The last thing she saw was a pair of yellow eyes.
So what's that tell you? We all know who her daddy was, all right? We know yellow eyes. Come on, dude.
I'll be out.
You don't, the devil, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I always think of the devil with red eyes.
No, the devil has yellow eyes. Watch The Exorcist. Those eyes are yellow.
They are. The last thing she saw was a pair of yellow eyes. King talks of what does it say? King talks of how you can still hear her screaming if you're stairs in July. And then you get to the third act. We have 3 musical parts happening in this song. The third act is the Black Horseman riding from beyond.
Yeah, the 7 Black Horsemen.
Yeah. So they're riding from beyond, so they're dead as well. And you find out that these were the people that killed the baby in the first place back in 1777. They find Abigail eating, I cannot tell you. How horrifying is that? That he can't even tell you what she's eating on. So it's left to imagine.
I think it's eating her own previous body. I think that, yeah, though the fact that it is found in the sarcophagus right here suggests that Abigail is eating her own previous body. Paul, they take her away to bury her in a hidden chapel in the forest with 7 silver spikes driven through her body. The burial heard as the intro to the album.
Look at fucking this shit scares me. It's so creepy.
They take the hope that this will prevent further
resurrection. To kill her, which is what we hear at Funeral.
Yes.
It's not them killing Abigail.
No, the deed's already been done.
Funeral is the end of the album. And I wonder if it would work. One of these days, I'm going to move Funeral to the end and listen to it from Arrival on and see.
I think I might try to listen to Funeral in the beginning and the end. Kind of do an Operation Mindcrime.
Now, here's my final thoughts. This song is just an epic fucking track and a great way to close the album. Great solos, melodies, lyrics. I love that it can be broken into 3 acts and how musically every act is different and builds to this killer crescendo. The last minute of this fucking song is some of the greatest music you will ever hear. Bravo. This is my favorite song on the album. Black Horseman.
Can't go wrong, dude. It's a fucking epic track, man. And the funny thing is even though they're not really considered progressive rock or heavy metal, they were influenced by progressive rock and progressive metal. They say that as part of their thing. And you can kind of tell. But I think the thing that makes them stand apart, and I mean Merciful Fate as well as King Diamond, is the fact that, because I mean literally with the King Diamond band at this point in time with Abigail, you have almost half the band of Merciful Fate, essentially, because that was the whole reason why they did what they did, is they didn't want to stop doing what they were doing. They, it was Hank Sherman that wanted to go in a more commercial direction, which was a colossal failure. But yeah, dude, I mean, like you said, it doesn't bore you. You don't get bored with it. And that's why I think Merciful Fate / King Diamond is better than Iron Maiden. Yeah, I said it. Shots fired. I prefer them. Let's just put it that way. That's just my opinion. I think they're just flat out better, man. I think that this was a phenomenal album, and yeah, I'm going to put it right up there with them as far as King Diamond albums. Merciful Fate, King Diamond fucking rules. There's a reason why we have him on Halloween and every year, and I can't wait until we do the next King Diamond album or maybe a Merciful Fate album. We're going to do those too. Yeah, it should be it's been a Halloween thing every year, and I liked, because we did them, and then I think we did Conspiracy the following year, and now we've done Abigail. I felt like we had to do Abigail. Abigail, it is kind of considered. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired, guys. It's been a long day, long fucking week. Abigail is considered the greatest King Diamond album, and I can see why.
I disagree. After going back and listening, for this review, for this Halloween special, them has such a special place in my heart. And thanks to Angelo Baiolotti.
I'm not talking personal favorite, bro. I'm talking objectively.
I know that objectively. But
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Them has such a special place in my heart.
Oh, I love it.
Special thanks out to Angelo Baiolotti for Italians, because fucking New York. For introducing me to King Diamond with them. But going back and listening to this and thinking back to the nightmares it gave me, I had the most fucked up Kafka dreams. I don't remember what the dreams were. I just remember that I woke up terrified and having to turn all the lights on in my room. That's my lamp in my overhead, obviously. Open my door, turn the hall light on, turn the bathroom light on, turn the family room light on.
Wow. So you kind of had what I call the Exorcist effect.
It scared the shit out of me. And
the Exorcist did that to me, man. I was like fucking scared of the dark. I was scared.
Yes. And several times while we've been talking about this album, I've thrown my arm up there to show my hair fucking rising just as I'm fucking talking about this album. It still terrifies me. Objectively, I think the critics are right on this one, and the critics are never fucking. Objectively, I think they're right. It is probably the greatest King Diamond band album. Objectively. Subjectively, it's nudging them into
dude, it's right there with me, man. After studying it for this, I'm going, holy fuck. And don't get me wrong, I've always loved Abigail. Let's not think, but my God. And also I think maybe just sitting here and listening to, because I used my earbuds, I used my headphones, so I took it all in. I do think there's a difference between, I listened to it around the house when I was doing laundry and working around here, but then I put in my earbuds and I was like, whoa, daddy.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times I love to listen to music on headphones or earbuds because I hear things that I don't really notice on my external speakers, you know. And I mean, just man, this was a shit hot lineup. I mean, they were amazing. And I said, essentially, you had half of Merciful Fate on this record.
Just include, Andy LaRocque and fucking Mickey D. Boy, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, you got Timmy Hansen, you got Michael Dinner and King Diamond with Andy LaRocque and Mickey D. Are you fucking kidding me?
What a shit show that was. How'd you get that off the ground?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, Mickey D, man. And look who he's played with. He's been with King Diamond. He's fucking been with Motorhead. Now he's fucking playing drums with the fucking Scorps.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck. You know?
All around great record. I'm glad we went to this one. I had actually
I am too. I'm glad because I mean, at first I thought about because I think you had suggested
because I had said The Eye.
Yeah, you suggested The Eye, which we will do, but I was just like, man, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. If we don't do Abigail pretty soon, people are going to start fucking saying, "What the fuck, man?"
I don't know. I think we could have got another 2 or 3 Halloween.
We probably could have, but I mean, I have so much fun covering King Diamond and Merciful Fate, man. I'm almost like, fuck it, let's do a Merciful Fate King Diamond podcast. Like that's how much fun I've had with this. It's just so fucking awesome. And
it's such a different kind.
Which I wouldn't say change the plug. I'm talking in addition to the plug. Like,
oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's such a different kind of metal. I think, if Black Sabbath invented metal and Priest defined metal, fucking Merciful Fate, and then later King Diamond said, hey, let's do this with metal. And it changed the genre. And they don't get the credit because Maiden does a lot of changes, but Maiden is very
and look, let me I know sometimes it sounds like I shit on Maiden, guys. I don't. I love Iron Maiden, okay? And I'm one of those guys that loves Bruce Dickinson and Paul Di'Anno, okay? I love me some Maiden. Those albums are fucking beyond classic. But I got to be honest with you, man. Now, I know Merciful Fate is working on a new album, and I know King Diamond's working on a new album.
He's been working on one. Now he's saying 24, maybe 25.
Right. And I know it takes place in an asylum. He actually did a couple of songs and they were fucking amazing. I just think, and maybe part of the reason why is it's the same reason why people go, oh, well, because when I say certain things about certain bands, oh, they're not hungry anymore. Anybody that's expecting a legacy artist to do the kind of an album or do anything that's going to even begin to match their classic stuff. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about bands like Metallica. I'm talking about even Megadeth or Ozzy, people like that. But then somebody will always throw Overkill in my face.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Overkill, while they've had some success, they are not on the level, and I'm talking in the public consciousness or commercialized, not fucking musicality, man. They are not. That's why they're still hungry. And it's why King Diamond and Merciful Fate are still hungry. And it's why this band on my fucking head, my favorite thrash metal band right now, and have been for years. I mean, yeah, get the fuck out of here, man.
It's amazing to me that people don't like Fate and Diamond. I kind of give a pass to not liking his voice. I kind of do. But if you can't get into it with the storytelling and the musicality, I just don't know. Maybe you just don't like horror at all. And horror is definitely not my favorite genre, but King Diamond does it amazing, whether he's with fucking Fate or the band under his name. I think some people don't like it because they don't like anything that's evil.
Right. Yeah. You're going to always have those kind of people, and you're always going to have people who, well, like, believe it or not, my co-host of the Metal Mike Show, Bill, he's not a big horror guy. He don't really like scary movies. And part of the reason is they give him nightmares. So he doesn't watch shit like Jaws or The Exorcist or any of that stuff, man.
I
And but
That's
even
the
he
one-
likes Merciful Fate. Even he likes some Merciful Fate and King Diamond. And he even said, he goes, at first he didn't know quite how to take King's voice. It's one of those things where I think there's three categories. There's some people who love it instantly. There's some people who fucking hate it. Or there's some people like me that was like, what is this? But once I got it, I got it. And now I'm all in and have been, you know, to where, like I said,
See,
the
that's
older I've gotten,
because you were exposed to more rock and metal at a younger age and more diverse rock and metal. I mean, I got exposed to Kiss and AC/DC and Sabbath and Zeppelin at like 8 years old. But when I heard King Diamond, my buddy gave me that tape to listen to. Immediately I got it.
yeah.
Like immediately. You know, the creepy intro, you know.
Well, it wasn't the music so much. It was Keen's vocals that kind of, I was like, it's not that I hated it. It was just, again, it was one of those things, Bushy. It's kind of like the way I was even with when I first heard Kill 'Em All or Slayer Show No Mercy. What is this new sound I have to take in, and do I like it?
Can I ask you-
I was also a little creeped out by it, dude. I mean, okay, I guess in a way you just said yourself, you were scared the first time I was fucking scared the first time I heard Melissa. I hadn't heard anybody sing like that before. I mean, I've heard your Halfords and your Dios and people like that.
I was scared when I heard them. When I went back to Abigail, that's the first thing that ever.
Oh, okay. I keep thinking Abigail, but it was really them that introduced you.
What them, Conspiracy, the Eye, Abigail is how I listen.
Okay.
And in King Diamond, that Abigail fucking gave me nightmares listening to it, falling asleep. But I do have a question. When you say, holy fuck, how do I take this voice in? Because it was such a strange voice from the guttural growls.
It sounded like something from another dimension to me.
For me,
almost supernatural.
For me, being 5 years, 6 years younger, growing up, really listening to the glam era where everybody had soaring vocals. Do you think maybe it was more accessible for me to catch it then because I was already used to hearing the false shit?
Maybe. I mean, that's
because I got King Diamond immediately. I understood it.
You might be onto something there, because I mean, to me, as far as like vocally, I mean, I loved Halford and I loved Dickinson and Diano, and obviously I was, you know, I mean, even Dee Snider had a set of pipes, so it's not like I didn't have, but I don't know though. King Diamond to me was just on another level, and the fact that he could get so low, almost death metal like, but then get and those high notes, man, it sounded like something like, dude, to me, he did. I was like, where the fuck is this? Where's this guy from? Is he from another dimension? Is he supernatural? Like, it just kind of creeped me out, but it was like that, like a scary movie. Like, it's like The Exorcist. I'm horrified, but fascinated at the same time. And that's what it was with Merciful Fate for me, dude. I mean, the artwork. I mean, come on, dude, the cover to Melissa, and even Don't Break the Oath of the Devil, you know, so badass and evil. It was like the most evil cover I saw at that time. And before that, I thought, you know,
come on.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, you know, fuck, man, you know, like, but then I remember thinking, believe it or not, you're going to laugh, but I thought Holy Diver was one of the most evil covers I'd ever seen. I remember when my brother brought that home and I was like, whoa, you know, and fucking demons drowning a fucking priest. Oh my God, this is insane. You know, now, you know, it's not that big a deal, but at the time, man, you know, and that's why I've always said that to me, 1980 was the greatest year in traditional hard rock and heavy metal. 1986 was the greatest year in thrash metal, even though you got 87 and a few other years after that were great.
Oh,
but for me, when it came to being a Black Sabbath maniac, 1983 was a great year. That year alone, Bark at the Moon, Born Again, Holy Diver. I'm done. Yeah. Boom. If you're a fucking fan of Black Sabbath and the Sabbath family tree, it just don't get any better, man. You know, like I was like, holy fuck. I mean, like and that's why, believe it or not, as much as I like Perfect Strangers and I like that record, and I even liked it when it came out, part of me was a little bummed out that Ian Gillan left Sabbath. I was kind of hoping he could do both because I loved Born Again that much. And you had Dio doing his thing with Holy Diver. I was like, oh my God. Now we're getting 3 awesome bands out of this instead of just 2, you know. But then again, and I got to be honest with you, I went back and listened to a lot of the Tony Martin stuff, which to me is the Tony Iommi band. It's no longer really Black Sabbath at all at that point. But I tuned out at the time. I tuned out. I did not listen to Black Sabbath. And there was several reasons for that. One of the main reasons for me was when he put out that album, which actually had Glenn Hughes on vocals, which incidentally, he's coming to our small theater here. Glenn Hughes is going to be at the Wildie, and me and Bill got tickets, man. And he's doing nothing but his Deep Purple stuff.
That's badass.
Dude, I saw him a while back with the Dead Daisies. There's my poster right there. And that was amazing. He did Mistreated. If you've ever watched the video that Bill shot, I mean, here's Glenn, he's fucking an old man, dude, and he can still hit those notes, man. I mean, he still can deliver it. He doesn't have to, and I'm not putting anybody else down when I say that, you know, when they got a down tune or whatever.
Age affects us all.
Fuck yeah.
It seems to defy him. I mean, Michael Sweet of Striper. I saw him at the Rocket Pod you weren't at, and he still hit that note at the.
Well, he still got it.
Soldiers
Michael still got it.
You know, Glenn Hughes, fucking these guys. Oh,
I don't know.
Sammy, and you know I'm a Sammy fan. So here you go, Mark. I'm gonna try to suck Sammy's dick while putting him down. Sammy can't do like he could do in the 80s and 90s. He still sounds great.
Yes.
But he cannot.
You know, another guy who I think kept his voice until I guess just recently.
I saw him last year. King Diamond is still fucking fine.
King Diamond is amazing.
Could you
live? I've seen him twice, dude, in the last fucking 5 years, and he was great both times. And that's a man who
Paul Stanley trying to hit those falsettos.
Ain't no fucking way, dude.
Let that motherfucker try to sing My Way now. And yes, I know you fucking Kiss fans don't like My Way. Vocally, Paul Stanley's greatest fucker performance ever.
Hey, did I not say that? Did I see? I was able to. I can do that sometimes. I can isolate shit, and I'm going, you know, I don't really care for this style of rock or metal. I'm not, everybody knows that it's not one of my Kiss albums, but Paul sounds great on that album. He put his heart and soul into that record, man. You can tell he really, but you know what? I think he sings his ass off on Carnival of Souls too. I don't think he gets credit enough for that record, dude. That's
an album we have to talk about one day because that's such a shit upon album, and it should not be shat upon at all.
No, I think it's a good record, man. I like it. I've always liked Carnival of Souls.
But imagine Paul trying to do My Way today.
There's no fucking way, dude. He couldn't even do the songs like, are you kidding me, man? There's no way he could do Master and Slave. And he hit some high ass notes with that fucking song. Or the other one that he does, It Never Ends. I love that song. It never ends. There's nothing I can say.
But King Diamond can still hit all those.
Yes, and so can Glenn Hughes. Like Ozzy and Glenn are buddies, and they joked a while back because Ozzy's like, you did as much coke as me, and you can still hit those fucking notes, man. You know, how do you do it? You know, because like Ozzy, but that's one thing I love about Ozzy. He'll fucking flat out tell you, hey, I can't do it. Yeah. Like there's some video footage. It's in one of the documentaries where he's rehearsing with Zach, and Zach's like, well, look, boss, I'm gonna down tune this and stuff, which ain't a big deal to you. You were in a band that down-tuned everything. You know, he goes, I mean, come on, man. This ain't 1992 anymore, boss. You know, in other words, like, I can't, bro, I love you, but you can't hit those notes anymore. So I'm not going to put you in that situation where you have to try to.
I have a question that's very important. I have not seen this documentary. Did Zach actually call him boss?
He always calls him boss. You never noticed that?
Beautiful. No, because I'm drunk. Dude,
he does. Yeah, he calls him boss a lot.
Drinking shine. I've been drinking beer, and I've been drinking.
He calls him boss.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Fucking Zach Wilde.
Oh, I do too, man. He's like, I'm not trying. No disrespect, boss, but this ain't 1992.
Such an unsung vocalist.
Yes, and if you've noticed, one thing that's cool about him, like the last few times I've seen with Ozzy, he'll do the backup vocals, and his voice is kind of similar to Ozzy's.
Yeah.
Him and Ozzy harmonize great together. So, Ozzy even said, he goes, Zach helps me, man. It's not just his guitar playing, it's fucking his singing too, So
Here, I'm give props to the Beatles right now. Listen to Zach Wilde's version of Come Together, where it's just him and the piano and the
oh yeah, it's badass.
Oh, and then wow, oh man, fucking it is my favorite recorded version of Come Together. That's
Have
over
you ever
the Beatles, that's over fucking Aerosmith, who did a quality cover. Zach,
is that one of your favorite Beatles songs?
I actually don't like that song.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I like when Aerosmith plays it, I skip. Like, whatever.
See, I love that fucking song.
Zach on the piano. And he's singing that soulful, down home Mississippi Delta blues kind of vocal that Zach Wilde he's so fucking good at. Like, if Zach was not a metalhead, the man would be a great blues.
Oh yeah. I'm shocked he hasn't done a blues project, to be honest with you.
The fucking, what are those fucking stupid acoustic fucking albums he did?
Book of Shadows.
Yeah. I've tried.
I like them. You don't like them? I do.
I'm bored.
See, I dig it. Is this something I want to listen to every fucking day of the week? No, but every once in a while, if I want to hear something mellow. And I also appreciate the fact that Zach was willing to try something different and put himself out there. I respect that.
Okay, I respect him. I'm not saying I hate.
I didn't say you didn't.
I
mean, not everything can be nothing but a good time, Bush.
Well, I know it can't. Damn it, I wish it could.
I wish it wasn't. I'm glad it ain't.
Wouldn't we all be happier if we got high and had nothing but a good time? Yeah, see,
The getting high part's cool.
How the fuck do you argue that point?
But the fucking song, man, jeez.
Oh, great tune. We got to get out of here. We've been hanging.
Yes.
This is Metal Mike. I am Bushy. You've been watching the Plug Podcast. We haven't done one of these in a while or ever. I'm not sure. We got to get that YouTube page going.
We got to get that going. We got to be doing this on a more consistent basis.
We're so lazy.
It ain't lazy. It's fucking getting the shit kicked out of you by life lately.
Well, it's funny. I just posted, we got 5,000 downloads, and no, we're real close to 10,000, but that's the badge we had. And, Mark Taylor, he's like, oh, I got 44,000. Well, bitch, your wife doesn't like you and you just sit in the studio all day recording podcasts. Fuck you. We have lives.
Damn, shots fired.
No shit, but no, yeah. Should we have more? Of course, but we work 12-hour shifts to your little 8-hour sucking Mickey's dick shifts.
I don't work 12-hour shifts, but let's just put it this way.
Oh, and never mind. Metal Mike has no excuses. I work 12-hour shifts, bitch.
An infection preventionist's job, an infection preventionist nurse's job is never done.
Right.
It just isn't. I mean, it's a constant ongoing thing. And just when I think I'm on top of shit, something comes along and goes, oh no. And bitch slaps me and I'm like, I mean, so it's just one of them things, man. Are we going to do any plugs, my friend? Because I think because we haven't done a live show or done an actual show in a while, I've got 3 of them. Well, 2 of them.
Well, give them to me because now I have to think. I gotta Dr. Fuck this. No, you go so I can look at my shit.
Right on, man. Okay, the first band I'm gonna plug is really cool band. They're from Wyoming. I'm Facebook friends with the guitar player by the name of Jeremy Amack. They're called the band Repent, and they are a blackened thrash metal band, much like Blackfast. Really, really cool. They just came out with this album. It's called The Reckoning. The production is fucking phenomenal, and they're really, I mean, the vocals are very because most like black metal, to me, there's different styles of extreme metal vocals. You got your Cookie Monster vocals. You also got what I call your Gollum vocals, Gollum from Lord of the Rings. This is more Gollum-like vocals with maybe a bit of Cookie Monster, but the musicianship and the production's amazing. And they're really cool guys. I'm friends with Dominic Ambrose as well, the drummer. And they've been going on tour. I'm going to be doing an interview with these guys in the near future, or at least Jeremy. And I've been playing them on my show. I bought the album on Bandcamp. They sent me an actual physical copy of the CD as well. I couldn't be happier or prouder of them. The Band Repent, and that's what they call themselves, the Band Repent. Check them out if you like your heavier metal. And here lately, I have been listening to a lot of really heavy stuff, man. This other band is a band called Entheos.
That's funny. Me too.
And they are a progressive metal, technical death metal band. Technical death metal, progressive metal, some deathcore elements. It's a lady singer and the drummer. They're the main band members. There's Evan Brewer. He's the and what's really cool is they're like a super group, man. They're from ex-members of Animosity, Animals as Leaders, which Animals as Leaders is an instrumental band, and then the Faceless. Then there's Naveen Copperweiss. I got to meet them. I bought a vinyl. They signed it for me. I seen them a while back with Revocation as well, which is a technical death metal band. And I got to admit, I'm starting to kind of get into some technical death metal, because when you see these bands live, I mean, the musicianship is just mind-blowing. And I saw Unearth with Revocation and these guys, and a really great thrash metal band called High Command. Check them out as well. Especially if you like old school Slayer, especially like Show No Mercy, Hell Awaits type of Slayer.
Right.
Really, really cool stuff, man.
So you got
such
Mark.
Huh? What?
I said, especially if you like the brutal. So Mark, it's not for you.
No. Mark, and I understand that. Like Bildo's not real big on the real Cookie Monster vocals, but it is weird with him. Like certain bands, though, he can, like Bellacore and bands like that, Bill can kind of get I mean, once you learn to get kind of past the vocals, and I know that might sound fucked up, but I don't know, either I've gotten used to it. It doesn't bother me as much anymore. Also, I almost look at it as an instrument unto itself.
It does not sound fucked up, because remember, 2 years ago, when we would have had this conversation, I would not have wanted to hear anything you're saying.
You wouldn't have given any of this the time of day.
Nope. And now, I have 5 stations programmed into my series. Hair Nation, because fucking duh. Ozzy's Boneyard, because fucking
duh.
Fox News, because fucking duh. Octane, that's weird. But I want to know
what's Octane?
Octane
Exactly.
The Octane is what rock and roll was on Top 40 radio in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, okay. I could handle that.
Everything that's popular in the rock scene.
Yeah, during that time period.
No, it's today.
Oh, okay.
It's bands out today. And of course, I'll play some old stuff too. So you hear some stuff that's radio friendly that I'm not familiar with. So
okay, fair enough. Okay.
Once in a while I go there. And then I stay on fucking liquid metal. Like I drive to work on the news because I want to know what's going on in the world. And I don't want to be told that Biden's the greatest thing ever. And then I come home listening to liquid metal.
Right on, man.
It's weird how much.
Well, I noticed when we went to, because I rode with you a lot in your car at Rockin' Pod, man, and you were like, and you were digging it, man. They were playing Obituary. They were playing like a lot of really heavy bands, and Bushy was all about it. I'm like looking at him like, fuck, man, somebody replace you with a pod person? Because this is more my jams, But that's what's weird with me is I can tell you and talk to you about a band like Haunt.
Yeah.
Which is very old school. I mean, they're part of what is called new wave of traditional hard rock and heavy metal, and I love them. It's one of the bands from the guy who does Beastmaker. Great doom metal band. Trevor William Church, mentioned him more than once. In fact, we mentioned him on that Is Rock is Dead because he's one of those DIY guys.
Yes.
And here's the other one. This guy, Jeremy, DIY. He's actually promoting shows himself. Like he's promoting tour packages. It's all DIY, man. And I couldn't be prouder of him for that. And like I said, Entheos, the lead singer, she's a gal, cute as hell. But man, dude, she'll do the clean melodic vocals, the Gollum vocals, and the Cookie Monster vocals. It's fucked up, man.
Awesome.
But I think you dig them, man. If you're getting into shit like orbit culture and obituary, and you're asking, hey man, send me Dimmu Borgir, I'm like, really? All right, cool. Which I'm going to still.
I heard this track the other day on Liquid Metal. I'm like, how do I know them? Because like I like Cradle of Filth, and I like these things. It's just as I've gotten older, maybe I'm just out of tune with what's going on with rock today, which is why I have Octane programmed. I want to hear what's happening. And a lot of those bands that are playing and headlining these fucking festivals, there aren't bands we know.
No.
I'm like,
I mean, I've heard a few of them, but yeah, I'm not.
It's like, they're not bad. I went back and, oh man, who the fuck was it? I actually had Samuel Wetz send me their stuff. And I was like, this isn't bad. Was I being the old guy? And that's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of being the old guy. I'm tired of being the guy that says, I don't like this because it's not fucking CCR, or it's not fucking Led Zeppelin, or it's not Black Sabbath,
Right.
Ozzy era, or it's not Kiss. I'm tired of being that guy because I do love heavy music. My biggest problem was always I didn't care about the blast beats. I didn't care about all that. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Not like metaphysically, like literally, what the fuck are you saying?
Right. I get it. I get it.
Spending this time and I'm listening to these bands, and I'm like, as I continue to listen, like the music's banging. Sometimes it's still too much, but I'm listening.
Well, I think what would be great is if you could see bands like this live, Bushy, because I'm telling you, like I could tell Revocation was talented. Don't get me wrong. Like when you listen to their songs, you can go, wow, that's some solid music. But after seeing him live, I'm like, I bought me a Revocation shirt. I bought me one of their shirts. I bought me I bought not just their albums, but their merch, man. Like, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like this is badass. Like, guess what? It is possible to like different styles of rock and metal, folks. You don't have to fucking be so in your fucking, I think there's so many people that they're in their comfort zone and they just will not. But the ones that really bother me are the ones that won't even give new bands a chance, like at all. Like you'll tell them, hey, you like Thin Lizzy and Iron Maiden? Listen to Haunt, and they won't even listen to it. They won't even give it a chance. Like I would send it to people. I ain't even going to mention their names. They never got back to me. They never said, hey, I like it. I think it sucks or nothing, And I'm like, I just came to the conclusion you didn't listen to it.
Look,
Not you.
Chris Rock said it best. The music you listen to while you were first getting pussy is the music you're going to love for the rest of your life.
Right.
And there's a lot of truth to that.
There is
a lot of truth to that. Now, I grew up in a very diverse childhood, so I was exposed to a lot of different things because I grew up in the fucking military overseas.
Right.
Different races, creeds, cultures, and religions. There's a lot of shit I like.
I know.
And Dr. Fuck, and even you sometimes, and in Wadzilla, everybody likes to fuck with me because of the stupid shit I like, and I will admit it's stupid. I will defend Milli Vanilli to the dying breath, and I will say right here, publicly, people, Milli Vanilli deserves to get the Grammy back. Because if my all-time favorite band, Kiss, could go out there and fucking lip sync. Why the fuck did they get the Grammy taken away?
There is one slight difference.
Well, what's the difference?
Paul's lip syncing to his old vocals.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's still Paul Stanley vocals.
The lip syncing. Have you seen Fab Morgan do this song?
Milli Vanilli.
See, you fuckers hate on Milli Vanilli, but
hear me out.
You were all dancing to him back in 1987.
I wasn't. I thought it sucked when it came out. I hated it then. But I did tell my buddy who bought the album for his girlfriend, I was like, hey, bro, you need to take that tape, fucking mark out Milli Vanilli and put various artists no, I said mystery artist or whatever, because nobody knew who it was, you know.
And the rumor is the chick from CNC Music Factory was not the singer on that album. Because apparently it was a heavy set black woman instead of that smoking fine fucking everything.
Who knows? I don't know, dude. I don't really care.
Because I like pop music.
Well, I like pop music too.
But I'm saying then.
I did even then. I mean, like, I liked Michael Jackson.
Oh my God. That's the typical white boy thing to say. Well, I like Michael.
I liked Belle Biv DeVoe. I liked Bobby Brown. I liked the band Belle Biv DeVoe. Who were they were before Belle Biv DeVoe?
New Edition.
New Edition. I like that shit.
Boy band.
Paul Abdul.
Yeah.
Fucking, I liked it. Now, did I have their fucking posters on my wall? Did I buy their records? No.
Okay, I didn't have the posters, but
You want to know why? Because I had a limited income and I bought what I liked best first.
Really?
So if it was a choice between fucking Michael Jackson and fucking Metallica, I bought Metallica. Okay.
I definitely bought Michael Jackson before Metallica. Actually,
I was just using that as an example. Okay, let me rephrase that.
I
bought Quiet Riot before I bought Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller was given to me for Christmas.
That's good for you.
Because it was the biggest record in the world.
Huh?
It was the biggest record in the world.
It was. I'm not taking anything away from Michael Jackson, dude.
Can I ask you a question, please?
I'm not taking anything away from him.
Objectively.
Yes.
Objectively. How the fuck did the Eagles finally outsell Michael Jackson?
Well, dude, honestly, to me, it's weird. I know you're comparing them because, you know, I think their greatest hits outsold Thriller and it's went back and forth. I love the Eagles. My dad was a big Eagles fan, so he played a lot of those records around me when I was a kid. I still love the Eagles this day. I think they're one of the greatest bands of all time. They're not heavy metal but they are a great band, great songwriters, great harmonization, great musicianship, great fucking band, man. I do not get some of the hate against the Eagles. I'm not saying you're hating on them, but I've never understood it. Man. I'm like, fuck.
Dig the Eagles, but I wicked dig the Eagles on I've never listened to a complete album. I know the hits.
See, you need to dive deeper, man. I mean, they were, to me, the Eagles in some ways, and maybe this is kind of weird, but I feel like when it comes, and I'm just talking rock, I'm not talking heavy rock or hard rock or heavy metal.
We're talking music right now.
Okay, but to me, the Eagles were to the 70s in some ways to what the Beatles were to the 60s. They were fucking huge, dude. And they came out with hit after hit after hit after hit, man. And much like the Beatles, they broke up. It got ugly. Fucking got so ugly. They fought on stage, dude. They almost got in a fist fight on stage. Even the Beatles can't say that shit.
Yeah, but there's 80s bands that can say that.
Were they as big as the Eagles, though, or the Beatles? I mean, Dokken can say that, but look, and I love Dokken, but Dokken should have been bigger and might have been bigger if they could have taken their stupid fucking egos out of the equation. I mean, they had the same fucking management group as Metallica, for fuck's sake.
Right.
Hello.
So let me lead into this next question, then I'll give you my fucking pick of the week. Or whatever we're calling it, plug.
The plug of the week.
Sorry, I didn't steal from you, fucking Rock and Metal Combat podcast.
At least give it a different name. Gee, and our name is the plug, literally.
No.
Did I go obvious? Yes, because I'm pathetically subjective.
Pathetic.
Moving on. Pathetically subjective.
Forgot what I was going to say.
You were going to say, we were talking about the Eagles and we were talking about, I mentioned Dokken, and you were talking about bands that implode on stage.
Dokken. There you go. Dokken. Don Dokken just had a statement quoted, and I didn't read the whole article, but he said, if you don't like the way I sing now, don't fucking come to the shows.
Okay, I won't.
Paul Stanley says, come to the shows. Ozzy, I'm sorry, he doesn't sing at the level he did. And when he can perform, says still come to the show. Don Dokken said, well, fuck it. Don't come. Don't spend your money. If I didn't like Don Dokken enough in the first place, I like this fucking guy even more. He's like, okay, people are going to come. Don't come.
Right. I mean, he's got a point. And I'm like, that's cool, Don, because I won't. And it's not that I don't love Dokken. I do, but I don't want to. I'm not putting the guy down. Fuck, he's how many years?
Age happens.
Yeah. Father Time is a motherfucker, and it gets us all.
I hate that bitch.
I do too, but there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is.
I know it. I'll be years, dude. So,
but I love, man. In fact, before I fucking, because I've been listening to the King Diamond album all week, but I listened to it again tonight. Before I did though, I actually threw in a little bit of Dokken, man. Oh yeah, I was rocking with Dokken earlier tonight. So there you go. And before that, I was listening to this and to this, which I have the vinyl. I got it signed right over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let me plug my shit. I want to take this time to apologize for all the evil shit we were talking about. And I want to bring you to our Lord and Savior. No, I'm not fucking kidding. Yeah.
I hope so. God.
I want to talk to you about after the resurrection and he came back to us. No, I don't care. I want to talk to you about this guy that saw a bunch of Christians hanging out at the carnivals, banging their fucking girlfriends and shit, and then coming in the next day to church while he was playing the organ. And it's kind of, no, none of it matters. I'm not struck down by lightning. It's okay. We all just get along. And no, I'm fucking kidding, of course. Look, let's all be good fucking people. I really have nothing to plug except that check out King Diamond fucking Abigail. Listen to these bands that Metal Mike just showed you. And let's quit letting shit like this divide us. And I'm a fucking conservative. Okay. Let's quit letting, and I keep them all side by side. My house is not burned down. So all you fuck sticks that think you could be struck by lightning.
What do you got all there? Let me see. You got the Holy Bible, which is what, the Old Testament and the New Testament, because the Old Testament's the Torah, the Jewish Bible.
I've got the Book of Mormon, which is another testament of Jesus Christ. I don't know. They're all made up. And I have the Satanic Bible written by Anton Zandler LaVey.
You need to throw the Quran in there too, though.
Fuck this. This one actually makes the most sense. I'm sorry. Read this one.
Of course, also get the new Overkill. It shits all over the new Metallica. Thank you.
Oh God. I think the shit I took yesterday shits all over the new Metallica.
Oh, shots fired.
Check out the new Stones album. I haven't heard it.
I'm gonna have to listen to it, man.
2 songs, and I've heard 1 minute from every other song.
That's so weird. I mean, if you bought the album, you should be able to fucking listen to it, dude.
Well, dude, I have it on my hard drive right now because I bought it initially, you know. For whatever reason, I wonder if I could show you. Oh, man, I got so much shit. It's funny because when I mute my phone to do this podcast, so much shit pops up.
Oh, I know.
Look, I'm going to my iTunes right now. Here we go. More purchased music. I got to go through because I've bought a lot of music. See, and this is something I want to show people. You know, look, I buy a lot of fucking music. I don't want to hear any bullshit about how I don't support artists. Where is it? Rolling Stones. Now on iTunes, I've only bought 2 albums. There it is. Hackney Diamonds and Ghost Head Soup. Ghost Head Soup is my all-time favorite Stones album. When you click on it, okay, there it is. Let me put it in there. Everything
Weird.
else, just you can download it. But when you get to the bottom, to fucking Angry, Angry is the only one you can play. The rest of them, I only get 1 minute fucking sound bites. Now, out of the 1 minute sound bites, I think it's fucking amazing. I have
Cool.
to listen to the album in its entirety. And since my daughter's not home yet, I'm gonna thump this shit after we drop this fucking episode. Yeah, just be good people. Don't be a lying bitch. Don't be a snowflake. And I'm sorry, I live in a part of the country now where they use the word snowflake a lot, but they're the snowflakiest cunts I've ever met in my life. And that's male and female. Be a good person. Check out these bands. Metal Mike, flash those CDs. Tell us the bands one more time, and let's get out of here.
Fair enough, man. We got, well, of course, I already said the new Overkill, which isn't really brand new, but it's still fairly new. Shit's all over Metallica. Yeah, I said it. We have, I got 2 albums by the band Entheos. Very, very cool. And then there is the band Repent with their new album, The Reckoning. Make sure you check them out. Keep fighting the good fight and stay metal to your dying breath.
Fuck yeah. And hey, motherfuckers, buy vinyl. We'll see you next time. You know what's funny? Here, let me stop the recording. I cannot stop the video. Where the fuck is it?
Well, you got the record button right here, man.
I don't want to end the meetings. I still want to talk to you. I think I may have to end the. Oh, hey, no,
Well,